What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am always your host, Edwin. Where the war fight start. Uh had myself a little I had the mic muted there. But anyway, fight fans, we're gonna be getting into a lot of boxing today. We have a lot to discuss. We have the Subriel Matias and um the interview on TBV today. Man, I'm not even on the panel today. I had to do a few things and my name gets brought up. But anyway, we're going to be checking a little bit of that. We're going to talk about Teofimo Lopez and his comment that he said to Terrence Crawford about not being undisputed. So we're going to get to all that and more. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel, become a Round One Sports Talk member, and let's get right into this episode. What's up, Koki? What's up, Frontline? How you guys doing? Salute. Well, we have a lot to unfold here, shall I say. Today, later on in the day, I happened to get home and I touched down with the TBV and the video. And I had a look of everything and I took in everything that was said. Um, I know that uh what's his name there? Cesar. I know that Cesar can come on the channel sometimes and feel like he's in like enemy's territory, so to speak. He always, because they gave him some shit. But like me and many people that have been on the show, you gotta know how to just tune out the chat and say what you need to say. I think a lot of things were said in that little debate there. But the problem was I don't think that Cesar really knew how to express himself properly. I know that, or he just in the frustration couldn't unscramble it, you know. Because in the world of reporting, a lot of our facts are sometimes done over video, mouth to mouth. You don't always necessarily have the paperwork to prove it. Cesar's years of, reporting, covering boxing, he has a little credibility, I would say, especially in the Latin boxing community, right? So I'm not going to say you just take his word for it, right? But you need just to also break down what you were trying to say, And Ness is the type of guy, he lives on Google. And if he can't find it, then it ain't so. Now, Ness's superstition is all based on that why is it that an athlete, a boxer such as Subriel Matias is testing positive for banned substance in a sport? Why isn't he testing positive for high cholesterol or etc.? Right? Okay, I get it. But that's not a very good analogy because the same circles that get the Austrian, the guys that go get it, are in these same circles that buy places where they sell these supplements, and tainted supplements can occur. Human error. I can't weigh that out. I don't make excuses, like, as well as in the entire conversation when, you know, um, Ness and Cesar was, they were going back and forth at each other and yelling, and things got up a little bit. But I had to admit, Ness was right in what he was saying, in the fact that he needed to show what he was saying. Where that Cesar was saying, I have a video where that I talked to the guys and I spoke with them. He needed to just say calmly, such and such video titled, you guys can check it out, and the people can take it from there. But at the end of the day, I can't help but notice one thing. I can't help but notice one thing, right? And that's the obvious. What is he being accused of? Subriel Matias is being accused of 0.085, right? And who deems the threshold? The commission, the professionals, the sanctioning bodies. And if the pros, the people that oversee and have these athletes' lives in their hands, deem that the threshold is 1 and he's under that, then what are we talking about? Meaning that even if, let's say, for instance, which Subriel Matias does not look like the type of guy that is cycling off of anything. He doesn't look like the size of Ryan Garcia. And I don't mean to bring him up. I'm sorry I even said that. But he doesn't look like this buff dude that's trying to hide it. You know, he doesn't strike me like that. Subriel Matias has 23 fights with 22 ways by knockout, and he has 2 losses, meaning he's either knocking you out or he lose the fight. Alberto Puello's the only guy that went to 12 rounds with him. So, and that was, that success in the belt, right? So, what I have to say about this is that if he wasn't over the threshold, meaning if you were cycling off something, if you want to think that, what they caught in his system was not enough to have any effect because the pros deem it. The pros are the ones that say that under this, for God's sake, you don't got anything. Then the one thing I also want to point out is that when a fighter is announcing things, right, like Subriel Matias, right, it's because more than likely somebody from his team came back and they showed him the piece of paper where it had all the lines. And you sit there with your guys and because they're your boys and everything, you're like, what does that mean? Well, that's got to mean that they didn't find shit. And you guys start to kick it, start to go back and forth because you got the results, but the results are just a bunch of lines just going across, no numbers. So it's like, damn, then the test result B didn't even come up with the 0. It was so low. That's going to make me think. Now, a boxer is only a boxer. He's not management. He's not, he doesn't take care of the paperworks. He just tries to figure out what he's looking at. And he comes on and he makes a video and you try to hold him to like what? A rocket scientist? Oh, Subriel, get the, no, we want the paperwork. We want this. He's a boxer. He's just trying to make sense of what he's looking at. Was he wrong to say, look, test result B is negative? Was he wrong? No, he wouldn't be wrong. But then you would say, well, then where's the number? And in the same breath say, you know what? I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen a test result that came back like that. And then this is a slippery slope, isn't it? If you was to say that test B came back inconclusive, right? If you was to say, I see you frontline. If you was to say test result came back inconclusive, then what does that mean? Then you couldn't put him on a year probation. Then you would also have to admit that somebody tainted that. Then you would also have to admit that VADA, what's going on, ain't you credible? There would have to be a lot of backpedaling here. So rather than doing that, I think they kind of suckered my man into being like, yo, oh yeah, we're going to let the fight go. Why don't you take this year probation right here and you pay for the testing? And you ever been accused of something and you just want to be done with it? Because why? You have one of the biggest fights in front of you of your life, defending your world title in New York City in front of all your people. You don't need to be thinking about this going into one of the biggest fights of your life. Or do you, says the other team? Is the damage done? Are they in Subriel's head? My boy Frontline's coming on. We're gonna talk about it. Let's break this down. Frontline, how you doing, brother?
What's up, huh?
Yeah, man. I just needed to get my little monologue out. And we're gonna break down this little interview here. I got it right here up on TBV because Subriel's
Manager.
manager came on. So I want to really like dissect this because
Well, before we get dissecting, this is what people keep writing and writing. He popped dirty. He popped dirty. He popped dirty. Here's where the problem falls. Okay, a sample came back with an adverse finding. Right? It was a false positive. Now, when the B sample was cracked and tested, that's when they got the 0.085 of ostarine. Okay, cool, fine, no problem. They found it. Subriel submitted all his samples, submitted everything that Vada requested. They move forward. After that, he's been tested 4 other times. And all 4 times, he came back negative with zero ostarine, which people, like we talked on the last episode, it's public perception. They're still stuck on what was reported the first time and not even considering the cross contamination. And that's the bullshit Ness was stuck on, that he wants proof, proof, proof. Okay, you want proof of the A and B sample. Fine. The first sample, which I get it, Subriel came back with that adverse finding on the first test.
right,
Second, the B sample, that's where they came out and they said it was 0.085. Cool, 0.085. No problem. They submitted all the supplements, everything that VADA requested, they submitted it. Cool, they got it, no problem. They did their testing. They found that it could be cross contamination. That's what Cesar was trying to explain, but because his English is not very good looking, it was hard
right.
for him to kind of translate between the Spanish and the English and try to keep on task and keep up with what was going on. So by him trying to explain it, and then not to mention Ness screaming over him, not letting him explain, was making it even harder. So fast forward when Pedrito got on, Pedrito made it clear.
Hey,
Pedrito said, we submitted everything. And after we submitted everything, we've been tested 4 more times. And all 4 times we came back negative. Why isn't nobody talking about that? Then he also go anyway. When you play, we could stop it and translate in between. That
mhm.
way, people get an understanding. All facts, no opinion. What's up, Richard? Saludo, papi. Who else is in here? Bull Rider. Salute. Matias already claimed one body in the ring. Diego says TBV isn't hardcore boxing channel, it's an obsessed fans channel. Eddie de Asís, round one sports. Cuidado con ese salpuerca. La da por invitar a Orlando. Memo, mejor cógeme el Orlando, papi, que es más rico. Sí, papi. Marico. um, we got Coqui in the building.
Yep.
Who else? Who else is in here? Towers. What's going on? And that is it.
All right. Listen, we're gonna be taking a look at this interview here today. This is Cesar Pedrito, Ness, and Two Tone. I don't even think Two Tone engages too much in this right here, but it's just to get. I passed through all the yelling. This is the point where Pedrito actually came on. So, you know, I just, because he's closer to Subriel, and if anybody, I'm gonna take, where their word for it, it's gonna be a man like this. So let's see what he had to say about the whole entire
Hey, hey,
situation.
Edwin,
Yes.
real quick before you play that, all facts.
Yep.
He's another content creator out of Philly. He's actually right next to your sister's gym, and I think that live that you did with your nephew fighting in that amateur fight.
Mm-hmm.
I think his son was there fighting, but he's got his own channel. Y'all should go check him out and sub to his channel.
Who
It's
all facts?
all facts, no opinion.
All right. All right. We gotta check out homeboy. All right. Word. All right, let's check out the interview here and then we'll break this down, dissect what's being said. Come on now. What the hell? It's not letting me play now. Why won't it let me play? Mm-hmm. Let me see. Hold on. Come on, man. Apparently, this is a sign from the boxing gods.
That's putting that blue head on you. He's like,
Yo,
fuck that. You ain't
listen.
gonna
Yo, listen. This shit does not want to play. Because to tell you the truth, um, my brother, Frontline, to tell you the truth, right? Look, we're beating a dead horse.
facts.
Okay. Um, opinions are like assholes. Everybody's gonna have one. If you ask me my honest opinion, and not just because I'm Puerto Rican, if you ask me my honest opinion, from the day Subriel Matias hopped up on the scene, he stood in the same weight division. He's looked exactly the same. That's it. Subriel has never shown that he was a weight bully, a bigger man, the bigger puncher. He was
Never pop
always
dirty.
never pop dirty, and he was always himself. So that much I can honestly say. And, you know, I can honestly say this, that he was an IBF champion. And if you're gonna be an IBF champion, I would just I'm going out on a limb here, right? But I think they're the strictest organization. And after every world title fight, IBF title eliminator, he passed all his tests. So since he never popped dirty, and I can't rule off cross contamination, and I believe that this will be one of those cases because for one of the first times in boxing history, I've never heard this in boxing. I got to be honest. I ain't never heard this one. Subriel was like, yo, if you want, I'll submit a hair sample. That's
Well,
how transparent he is.
he challenged Chris out Jerry on that.
And
He said
yeah.
I'll pay for the test. I'll supply a hair sample under one condition. He said I'll pay for the test. I'll do everything under one condition. If this is a big if I come back positive, I would vacate my belt and I'll retire from the sport. I would never put gloves on again.
Hmm.
But but if I come back negative, Chris Jerry, you can't touch another microphone a day in your fucking life.
What?
So,
What?
para que coja. So,
Yo,
para que
a,
respete, cabrón.
a
But
career for a career.
that's it. That's how you shut these dudes up. Because if not, they're not gonna stop. But
Yo,
yo, he taking shots. But you gotta understand though, the defamation coming behind
yeah,
this accusation. It's like
right,
look at how the whole boxing industry right now, the casual
right,
fans to the hardcore fans,
right.
they're looking at him like he a drug cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Let me catch up with the chat. Chile de Garcia says the other guy had more clarity, accountability. Oh shit. Okay. Oh, Ino Choda. Melaza con sabor, saludo, papi. He said we was talking in some WhatsApp chat. Subriel Matias team needs a professional translator exclusive for him. Between Pedro Cruz and Cesar Seda with that broken English makes us look bad. Honey Badger says, Ness blocking you with a laughing emoji.
Mm-mm.
Anthony Anthony Jones says, so the B sample came back negative. No, it did not come back negative. It came back with that percentage, the zero
No,
point
no, it
zero.
came back with the lines. It didn't have no number
No,
on
no,
it.
they didn't have no number, but that's
Right.
that's what they
So say
reported.
what it
But
was. Yes, say
no,
what it was.
the first sample. Hold on, the first sample came back
Oh, the
adverse.
first one. Oh,
No,
yeah.
he's talking about the B sample, which is the second one, but the first one, the A sample, it came back with adverse findings, meaning they saw something in it they didn't know what it was. When they dug into the B sample, is when they found the ostarine, and the ostarine levels was 0.085.
Right.
That's what it was.
Right, but frontline. Okay, listen. I want to repeat this for everybody that's now joining us. Please do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button for me. It really helps out the channel. Now, listen. If the professionals at the professional levels, the doping agency, VADA, it is not their job to report or to prove his innocence or guilty. The only thing is their job is to report their finding, what their finding was. Now, someone obviously leaked this out, right? Because it was under the threshold that who deemed so? The pros, the doping people that for New York Athletic Committee and the WBC, right? So their threshold is zero point 0.1. So in fact, in other cases that we've seen, people got caught, they had this in their system, but at least they were over the level. For God's sake, you can't tell me you can arrest me for robbing a bank, you know, if I never entered the bank. You gotta, you know what I mean? You gotta at least catch me coming out or something, right? You gotta wait for me to get out the car, do an attempt. So it's like you knew at this point when we've started to start to uncover some things, and he wasn't even over the reporting limit. So that percentage by the pros, the people that oversee our lives in boxing, they say that amount right there couldn't give you any advantage, anything. So even let's say hypothetically, he's cycling off something. 4 days later, they tested him. He came back negative. And before that, the positive test, they have a test saying he was negative before that one. So he's surrounded by negative tests in the middle of one positive that's under the threshold. Let's just think about this.
Right, which is number one, it should have never been
Hold
reported.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. People, let's just think about this. So, Ostring's not the type of drug, right? Because we all looked it up during this Ryan thing. So, I'm pretty sure that most of us are caught up to speed. That it says that you have to have up to 3 grams of Ostring in your system to reap the benefits of the day. You would have to be on it for over 2 weeks to reap the full benefits of Ostring. Because of Ryan Garcia, most of us went online and read this shit. We're hip. We know this. So 3 grams has to activate it for the day. So if you were cycling off the next day, there would be drugs coming out of your body that would break down to other drugs. They would detect that. They would be able to detect that. That would be like you coming off of a drug, a substance, methamphetamines or something, and it breaks down to morphine in your system or something like that. These pros are not stupid. So the
Melasa,
pros,
the link is in the chat. You can hop on.
yeah, so the pros themselves said, okay, go on. But I gotta admit here, there's something a little peculiar here. They were kind of quick. Ringside Magazine, Chris Algeria, they run in a certain circle, and they were quick to point the finger. But it seemed like when that test sample came back, the B one, no one took to his aid. The WBC didn't release a statement. They didn't update their system. All these people in the TBV interview got the email. So the truth is out there somewhere. It's out there. Why haven't we heard from it? Why?
Oh, by
This,
the
they,
way, I sent the link to Camachito because
yeah.
I think he's gonna send it to Pedrito to see if Pedrito can hop on.
All right. So
So
like
just
that.
be on
That's
the lookout.
Yep. That's my only thing. That's my only thing. Like when a lot of these people were quick to crucify Matias, a lot of these big guys didn't come to his aid. They basically left you on a win and left it up to you type shit. It's kind of like they want this night in New York City to fail. Now, hypothetically, I'm going to come out on a whim and I'm going to say this, right? As promoters, Lou Develop has been a boxing promoter for, I think, over 20 years, right? Somewhere around there, right? I'm not sure. But he's never cracked the top 5. And Ed Hearn is up there, top rank, and he always has to bring his fighters to them. And he's like Rudolph. They never let him play in any reindeer games. So when these young Puerto Rican boxing promoter and company came up and challenged the big guy and won, they can't believe that they're going to pull this off. Why? Because it allows them to be in the room with the real people that have the real numbers. And they're going to find out some things. They're going to find out about the money. And the next time they go to negotiate something, it's going to be on the up and up, so to speak. So
Well,
these all these
that's what Pedrito said in the
it's
boxing
the
voice.
truth. It's the truth. Because hypothetically, I'm not in the room, but I'm telling you, they don't let these little boxing promoters for years. Think of all the boxing promoters there actually, and think who sits at the top. They always got to bring them their fighter. They don't let them control and walk into the room. They talk to them from now. Hey, how you doing? You got to fight? Yup, let me see it. Okay, stand out there. Boom. That's it. There's only a few people that's in that, like Oscar De La Hoya. Shit, Don King can walk in there sometimes as an old boxing promoter. Top rank, obviously, Ed Hearn. You know, Queensbridge, like Frank Warren. Um, those guys, they ain't letting nobody else at the dinner table. That's just like letting the IBO in. Oh yeah, it's a major world title. Nah, you got to put in your time. And they didn't like that shit. So it's like at all angles, I can't help but notice that this fight is getting a lot of scrutiny to see if it's gonna discourage fans to tuning in or showing up to watch this fight. There's so much bad publicity already surrounding this fight because of Subriel and all this debate. I can't help but wonder they're trying to destroy it. And you want to know something? Subriel might be one of us, one of the little guys fighting the machine. and we just turned on him. One of the guys and the little promoters that are fighting going uphill, ice skating. He's just like us. That we ever said if we were in that position and they did it to him, and you know the worst thing to do, turn your own people on you. And it seems like at every turn they shooting them down. So I got a couple other people I want to hear what you guys to say. Hold up, I'm gonna pull you guys up right now with respect. Come up to the show. Uh, respect the show, and we'll have a great show. Here we go.
Yo, what up, frontline? Yo, what up, round one?
What's up? What's up,
Coqui, que es la
Smokey? How
que
you
hay.
doing?
Okay, okay. Yo, I just heard everything. I didn't know Pedrito was in prison for 10 years. That kind of, I guess him and Matias can relate a little, right?
Yeah, because he's not a
Yeah, I
snitch.
guess. I
There
guess.
you go.
Yo,
He's
Yeah,
not
yo,
the same.
you
yo.
can see in his face.
Yo,
Yeah,
round one, you said that perfectly. I wish you would clip that last 2 minute. How you was saying, Matias is one of us. I wish you could clip that. You make
I'm
good
going
points right
to.
there.
I'm going to because I feel that way. Because it's too much. It's too
Right.
much evidence against just against this little card that Fresh Production won over, and it's so much. They're just piling it on.
Well, you heard Cruz mention it too. He was like, they were upset that they were questioning how we got this, how we won the bid, and as soon as he told Ness that, Ness kind of like ignored it. He was like, "Nah, I don't want to hear about that. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the
That's because
contamination."
that's
yeah,
because Ness got selective hearing. He wants to hear
and
what he wants to hear, and he wants to
okay.
put out what he wants to put out.
Eh?
And
Yeah.
that's
So
facts.
And
Yeah.
you want to know something? You want to know something? You know, none of the streaming networks were told to come to their aid or to do business with them. And Ed Hearn called and said, I know nobody's got them a streaming platform. How they pulling this off? Look, he just revealed he
Because
lifted his
yeah,
skirt.
mm,
How much they
of
trying to
course.
destroy this card in New York?
Not just destroy it. Like, ¿cómo se dice in English when you say like meterle el pie
Papi, aquí se habla
from
Put,
like?
Spanglish,
put
olvídate.
your knee on their neck.
No, no,
Mira,
but how you say it
Put
in
your
English
knee
because
on
he
their
have it
neck.
in English.
You want to put
No,
your
when
knee
you say like meterle el pie, to do that to somebody. How you say that? Like from like
they want to cut him off basically.
or
yeah,
shove them down
yeah. Like
or
yeah, yeah.
keep
Like
him from the top.
Because remember,
hit
they
them.
don't see us as another American like a gringo and moreno. No,
Right,
they see us down. These people, not the American, this outsider like Turkey, Eddie Hearn, the British, everybody, right?
right,
Because we speak Spanish and stuff. So when we tell, bro, I don't need your money. No, I'm not gonna travel 12 hours over there to the middle of nowhere to be in opening your core. When I'm a main
Right.
eventer, my money's in New York, my fans is in New York. I am American. I don't need to get out of the United States. Period. That. Remember, they're the Saudis. Nobody have say no to the Saudis. Only Javante Davis, right?
Right.
right,
So, this is ego stuff. And then Eddie Hearn think, oh, I got 1.7. This Puerto Rican got no money. This broke ass islander and stuff like that. What he don't know is Johnny is already a music producer, a music mongo. These big ass stores like Domo One, Wisin and Yandel, all these people, he is a music promoter. He got money. So he don't expected that. So when he win the bid, now it's another like left hook to the liver, to
right,
that ego. Remember this, uh, Eddie Hearn is a British monarchy. He got a title because you have to have a title to have a company like that.
Right.
right,
So now this Islander is saying no to me. He's not taking my money, and now he's beating me up in the bed. So,
Hmm.
right.
and they got
That's a great point.
connections. They got connections, but we are the American, we're the Puerto Rican. We control these boxing business. You can control with the money, but we're the fan base. We're the one who pay the ticket. We're the one who buy the seat. We're the one who buy the pay-per-view. So, bro, you cannot fight against us. Sorry. They don't expect this. They don't expect that the Puerto Rican united like that. English, Spanish, whatever, probably no. We're defending ours and we're going in let me calm down.
No, no, you're
No,
making
no,
great points,
Mira,
man.
no, no,
zumba
No,
me
no, no, no,
laza.
no,
Habla,
no,
habla.
no. But
look,
but
look,
it's
look,
like
look.
we're going to a war because remember, I'm talking in like a fan base. I'm not an expert. I'm not a reporter. I'm not. No, no, no. I am a fan, right? I can
Mhm.
be like, yeah, I'm from Subriel Matias tribe. I'm a fanboy of him, and I pay the freaking pay-per-views. I pay the to go and see him fighting in a boxing match. So yeah, I buy. He's the product that I like, and I buy.
Right.
The rest of boxing, I watch it, but I am concentrating Subriel. So of course, so they don't expect that. So whatever. But I don't want to keep. How you say? It's your show. You talk. My
No,
bad.
no, 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 no. Look, look, look. I always want to hear, and I have here around One Sports Talk. I build a safe platform so we could always come and you can express your boxing, and talk your truth. Everybody might not agree or whatever, but here I give you a space where that you can speak what's on your mind. You know, so I respect it.
I
At
wanted to
the
add to that real quick because he
yeah.
made a ton of great points and I appreciate it. But to everybody on the panel, do you guys notice how when this news came out, how quick Dalton Smith and Eddie Hearn were on doing interviews? It seemed like they had a script ready. It seemed like they knew that this is
Mm.
like something that it was part of their plan to maybe
They foreseen
potentially,
it.
yeah, to potentially, get the fight pushed back or maybe get, Puello, Alberto Puello to fight, Dalton Smith or, have Isa Cruz or, Roach, like one of those guys instead of Matias, because I think they want Matias, to be in the back line. Like he's been his entire career. Because you guys remember when Matias was with PBC, they made him fight all these undefeated upcoming guys, and they didn't give him Josh Taylor or Regis Prograis, who Matias called out for fucking 5 years. He called those guys out for 5 years. He didn't get one fight with them. And now we're in 2025, 2026 coming up, right? And Matias is fighting Dalton who? Who the fuck is Dalton Smith? You know what I'm
Bro, but you
saying?
don't saw Dalton Smith, then Puello, and who else next?
Yeah, it's like the rematch of Pollo, right? So now Matthias may not get the Teal fight, he may not get the Haney fight, he may not get the Hitchens fight, he may not get the Russell fight. They're gonna have him in that circle, in that cycle. That's what boxing does. Boxing, they pick and choose who you get to get. You know what I'm saying? So I want to ask you guys: do you find that weird that Dalton Smith was so ready to talk? He said, you guys heard what he said about, like, he called Matthias a cheater, like he called him out.
Well, okay. In the
Can I add?
boxing,
Hello.
yeah. What's up? Hey, introduce yourself.
All right, I'm Mick. Shout out Cookie.
Yo,
Um,
salute
What's
to
up,
Mick, my good friend from
Mick?
Scotland.
I
A
know,
great boxing mind,
I
and
know.
Mick, welcome to the panel.
so
What's up,
I
Mick?
agree. I agree with what Cookie's saying there, but like, if people are saying Dalton Smith, like Dalton Smith was the mandatory,
Yes.
so he was he had to fight. The other issue that I have with Eddie Hearn doing that, who's got the background? But Eddie Hearn,
I think my man here that just came in, yo, can you fix that or mute me your mic?
Mic check,
so
mic check.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. You're a little echoey. I can hear your background, brother.
All right, my brother. I'm
Uh,
Jules.
uh,
What's up, round one?
what up, baby? How you
What
doing?
up? What up, baby? I'm doing good. Nah, but my bad, my bad. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what up,
I'm gonna
bro?
let
What
him
up, bro?
let him
what
finish.
up? So the issue I have with Eddie Hearn saying what he said was basically, if he got Matias stripped, God, I can't hear it for that guy's way back here.
All right, hold on,
Yo,
hold
mute
on.
Hugo, mute Hugo.
I got it. I got this. I got
Oh
this.
man, come on.
Hold on.
Ah,
But yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, go
He
ahead.
comes in with that Temu shit.
Go ahead.
so So what Eddie Hearn wasn't actually realising is that if Matias got stripped, then Pitbull would have been the champion. Because Eddie Hearn was like, oh, we should fight for a vacant title versus like Pueo or somebody. But he couldn't because Pitbull was already the interim champion. So when he fought Lamont Roach this weekend, they'd have been promoted to full champion, yeah?
Yes, yes.
So, like, that's the bullshit part about it. There's
Right.
also the bullshit part about, like, see, like, I don't really like Eddie Hearn. But like
I know.
the guy before that said, man, Eddie Hearn had like a dynasty, he's a royal title, he's things like that, man. People in boxing don't realise Eddie Hearn never had a fighter 15 years ago. None. Zero. He had zero fighters. And then he got like the issue we had was Frank Warren had all the great fighters, good fighters, built them up. Frank Warren's a great promoter. He is the matchmaker to bring build talent, but puts them in with each other. So what Frank Warren didn't start paying fighters. So people were fighting and then they weren't getting paid. But like in the space of like maybe a year, Frank Warren lost Ricky Burns, Kell Brook, Amir Khan, Darren Barker, George Groves, James DeGale. Like they all went to Eddie Hearn and they were all world champions. They all became world champions or world champions. So Eddie
Yeah,
came off
but
of
at
that.
what cost? At what cost? Because that's all true what you're saying. But remember, that's the same year that they accused Ed Hearn of losing the most money in the company with those fighters that he all acquired. He lost a lot of money there. And then Frank Warren is such a better promoter that he proved it on a world stage. He went 5-5, actually six
Frank
on six,
Warren.
Aye.
and
Right, look,
wasted him.
I get that, but like what happened was, so Eddie Hearn take all these champions off him because Frank Warren wasn't paying them. There's loads, right?
Frank
But
I
what?
have a
Warren
question.
is
I
the
have a
GOAT.
question. Sorry,
You
sorry,
know,
sorry.
Papa, Frank
Papi, hold
Warren
on.
is
Oh, all
the
right, go ahead.
GOAT
I'm sorry.
in
Go ahead.
England. That's the GOAT.
All
That's
right,
the
let
guy
me ask you
that
guys
Hold
a
on.
quick
that's
question
Can I
the
though.
how you
continue?
call the Don
Yeah.
King of England. That's Frank Warren. You have to
You just
kiss
said
Yo,
it.
where
You
he
Hugo,
just
let
was.
him
said it.
let him ask a question real quick.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Of England, my brother, you can never compare to an Eddie Hearn, a global powerhouse with Matchroom, has superstars from the UK down to Mexico, Sugar Nunez, down to the United States. Brother, this is the new era of boxing. Frank Warren is almost out the door. His son, he's gonna be left with his dynasty, but his son has no type of social skills like a Matchroom Eddie Hearn. Continue, and I'm sorry, but I have to back up Eddie Hearn, a
I
global
get
All
it. I
right, all
get
right,
it.
all right.
I
so
Yo,
powerhouse.
get it.
Eddie
I get it.
let's get
Salita.
to the
So Eddie
question. What was the
Salita
so
question?
with Salita Promotions got a better promotion. You when you watch that on TV, you can watch a elite promotion. When you
Who?
watch Mushroom Boxing, you are watching a boondog boxing. Like the lights are bad, the audio is bad, the press conference are with a bunch of echo. Bro, that stuff is
Who's?
so Eddie Hearn and
Let me
No,
Matchroom.
it's
let me
not,
say
so
dude.
something. Hold on. Let me say something to what you just said, right? I can't remember who said it on my live here, right? But somebody said that when they saw the PBC fight, that the Isa Pipo Cruz, that it was
It-
so much better
it's because they
than
bring out a different aura. They bring out a
it
Showtime
said. It
pay
was
per
just
view.
the
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 viewing, the
picture,
lighting.
everything, the
Yes,
lighting,
and I agree with that.
everything was
Of
just so
course.
much better than what the zone. It's just like the zone's like just put a bunch of shit together, copy paste print, and they think that's good enough.
But
so
it's
can,
because you
can I
gotta
can
go. Sorry,
can I
go ahead. Go
continue
ahead.
what
I'm
I was
sorry.
going to say? So
Go
the
ahead.
thing what happened there, Hearn had all the champions, and then when he got Anthony Joshua, he could put Anthony. All the champions were in different cities in the UK, and he put Joshua around. He put Joshua around in all the cards. Now Joshua is Britain's most popular fighter ever, ever by a mile with
Are
pay
you
per
prepared
view.
so he get
Listen,
knocked
I
out
have
So
an interesting
again
topic. I want all
against
your
the
opinions
Gallo
on.
from
Wait,
Dorado, Paul?
okay.
Are
Oh,
you ready for that? Because he just got knocked down by a fat ass Mexican. Then he got
eh,
knocked
Oh,
down
watch
by
out, bro.
Dubois. And now he's gonna get knocked down by Jake Paul. Are you ready for that? He's so
hey,
I,
famous.
I, I
hey,
didn't
hey,
say he was a
hey,
good
guys.
fighter.
I'm
I
Yeah,
leaving.
got
I'm
the
he he's
leaving.
the
I'm
most
podcast.
gonna take. I'm
popular, like
leaving.
the most revenue that comes in. But to Edwin,
Oh,
you got
oh,
it.
Yeah. Look, I got some shit. I want you guys to take a look at. Okay. This is that Teofimo Lopez situation where he talks about the belts with
With Shakur.
Terrence Crawford. Watch,
Oh,
watch.
with
Check it
Terrence
out. Check it
Crawford.
out. Check it out. Check it out. Yeah. Check it out. We're gonna check it out. This is Teofimo Lopez
We
and
can't see
how he
nothing, brother. Oh,
feels.
there you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Go
Okay,
ahead.
here
Go
we
ahead.
go. Here we go.
Go.
Okay, hold on. Let me rewind this part right here, and then this is what he has to say.
As long as they paid for the sanctioning bodies. But Crawford left out one, and that was the WBC. So, by default, on paper, he's not undisputed.
Exactly. And I agree.
Wait, shh,
No,
He didn't
he didn't pay for the sanctioning belt. Regardless of whether Mauricio didn't want.
Oh, come on. What the hell's going on with my internet?
That's that
But
Temu
you know
internet.
what? I
Hold on,
definitely do
wait.
agree with
I
this.
would really
I
like
agree
you
with
guys.
this 100%.
No, hold on, because you got to. It's important to hear it's. What
The
the
end.
hell, man? Yo, it's like the CIA is watching me, bro.
The Fed's watching, bro. The Fed's watching.
So
Yo,
okay. Basically, wait, whoa, okay, wait, whoa.
Mauricio didn't want to or not, he did not pay for the sanctioning belt. So by default, he got stripped, so it became unified. If they could do it with me with my super WBC belt, then why not? And I paid for that sanctioning belt.
So by default, was you undisputed at 35?
Thank you.
Tio,
All right, thank you guys.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes. right?
Tio, what were your thoughts of the Lamont Roach and Pitbull fight?
Okay, now check this out, guys. Right? Okay, what Teofimo Lopez is saying there, right? He's saying that when he fought Vasily Lomachenko, he should have been undisputed world champion because Vasily had the franchise WBC world title. And in reference to Terrence Crawford just recently being stripped. Now, I have to strongly disagree to you. Why? Two separate situations, and in your situation, you would have to change the history books because by awarding Teofimo Lopez undisputed status, you would have to award that to George Camboza that beat him. Then you would have to be acknowledging that Devin Haney's belt, the WBC belt, wasn't nothing. But the fact that he beats George Camboza, he goes back to undisputed. So you would have to write the history books just to prove or say your point, which in actuality, when the WBC came to Lomachenko and said, these are the franchise rules. Do you want a franchise? He said yes. So by default, Devin Haney was the champion. So in Terrence Crawford's situation, they just recently stripped him. He already became undisputed 3 times.
But he
could
didn't
take
pay
his-
the bill though. He didn't
Yeah,
pay
I
the bill
know.
round
That's okay.
one. So
Okay.
like if so like they can legally take him to court, which they won't because WBC
Right.
Mauricio
And that's
Suleiman
the
has
problem.
came out to the
And
public
since
and
the
said,
fact,
I'm not. Yeah,
they will not take him to court, then I can't play judge, jury, and sentence here. Okay?
But,
I gotta
mira,
go by what's going on. And
No
if they're not
sanctioning
taking
bodies ever taking anybody to court for no paying.
can I
if they're
say
not take,
something
if
real
they're not
quick?
taking him to court, then guess
They
what?
can't. They can't
They're
because they are a non-profit organization. So that
Correct.
money is
wow.
not a pay. That money is a donation.
no,
Because
Papa, you're wrong. I'm sorry, you're
yes,
wrong. They
No,
signed a
okay,
so the,
go and
contract.
check.
They signed a
Every boxing
contract,
organization is a non-profit
Yes, it
but they're
organization.
still a
is.
company. But they're still a
No, they are
company
not
that has.
companies. They are non-profit
They,
organization.
yes,
yeah,
but
They
they
are
Brother,
also have
public
they
brother,
also
if it
have
was
officials.
sub
that
companies.
easy, no one would pay sanctioning fees. But there's but there's rules to be followed when you sign the contract to fight for a WBC, WBA, IBF, or WBO belt. There's sanctioning fees that have to be met,
Where are you
and if
from,
you don't
Papa?
sign
Where are you
that,
from? Where are you from?
I'm from LA, brother. I'm from LA.
So I ask
See the
you
biggest the biggest issue you
to
have with it.
read every organization, to read what they are, so you can understand why they cannot
I
ask
I think I have a
money.
pretty good.
Because
I
the
think I.
money they receive is a
Go ahead.
donation, and it's tax
Yo, Hugo,
deductible
he's
for the
right.
boxers.
Well,
Hugo,
I
he's
wouldn't
right.
say it's
Those are the
elimination.
federal
I
No,
would
no.
laws.
If
say
you
it's
look,
a
look,
sanctioning
Hugo,
fee.
Hugo. If you
Yeah.
look up
All
the
right. Go ahead.
WBC, Papi, if you look
Yeah.
them up, they don't
Okay.
lie. It
No, of
says it.
course not. All
It
right.
Yes,
says
Hugo,
but
it.
can
Hugo,
I
eso
just
se
ask you,
llama,
bro?
eso se llama melaza con sabor para que
No, but it says it. They're a
respete.
non-profit.
So
Look,
can
I
I add to
agree.
this though?
They're
That I
of course they're
disagree with one
non-profit.
point. Usually you
They're
have to pay
non-profit,
that. So
but you
usually when
have to
you
pay.
yes,
Yeah, 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 yeah. But okay, guys.
see when
Okay,
it
guys. Okay,
see when
guys.
it goes to a push
Wait.
bid.
Wait, real quick, real quick. See, a lot of these fights, they do take this percentage out of their check before a lot of that. So don't get that misconstrued. But when you're dealing with a lot of high profile fights, and this fight was over $150 million, you know what I'm saying? And you're in the room, you don't want to disrespect anybody. And if somebody
Well,
tells you,
well,
yeah, I
from
got
now on
you,
they are. From
you
now
know,
on they are.
I get it. There's lessons were learned, and this fight is going to prove that. Okay. But when you're in these kind of situations, I got to admit that as you go up, they treat you different. Everybody else is like almost like where's our money? But we're taking it out of your check. No breaks. And then you get higher, and then people are like kissing your ass because they're happy you're fighting for them and they're getting a check. So a
I
lot of
see.
people are getting you a nod. Okay, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
u-
Yeah, whatever.
Usually the biggest issue is see when you have push bids, you have to put money in escrow, right? And then you before the fight, the promoter has to put money in, and usually the sanction bodies hold that, and they would take their percentage of it. Because
Right,
what happens is, what
right.
actually happened here was there was no push bids. So what Crawford's saying is, I didn't get paid 50 million, so why am I paying? Why am I paying this? Now Crawford, I love Crawford, but he's not being honest, and neither is Mauricio, right? Crawford was telling everybody 50 million. If you listen to anybody, it was 50 million, right? But the sanctioning fee is completely and utterly capped at 300k. Now Mauricio said,
Plus a thousand
well,
K. Plus a
not
thousand K
it's no, it's
because of the back
300.
pay.
Go on, let me finish. It's 300k, right? So what actually happened is Crawford saying, "I've got 10 million. I'll pay that, but I didn't want to. I wasn't more than that." But 10 million is 3% is still 300k. It's still max, right? But then the issue you have is Mauricio comes out and says, "Oh, we gave him a cut price deal at 0.6%. But what's 0.6% of 50 million?
300.
300k.
Yeah.
So, right, but this is what people didn't realise. He paid the IBF and the WBA, right? Terence Crawford has never defended an IBF or a WBA title in his life. Now, they take 2% off him because he's a previous champion. He still held the Madrimov belt. So they take 2% because he's counted as a champion before, and that's why he paid less. Now, Terence Crawford's been happy to pay 3% all his time with the WBC if he beat Victor Postal, won 2 or 3 other defences, and then he went undisputed. So he's had no issues with that. That 3% always goes. Now, the WBC are the only one that will take 3% off of both because they have that shit fucking WBC clean program that's worthless. And they put some of that money
Don't
into
say it's
that.
worthless.
Yeah,
Don't say it's worthless because you're
it's
wrong, bro.
worthless. They
Then
can't
don't
they
say it's
can't ban
worthless.
anybody. They cannot ban anybody. They are worthless. All they do is email. Because if that was the case, and I might upset people here, if they are an illegitimate testing body, WADA do not recognise WADA at all. They said
Who?
they are not. WADA is a worldwide code, right? They can ban anybody worldwide. There's 162 nations with testing bodies. America is the only one that uses the illegitimate one, not recognised by WADA. They use VADA. VADA can't sanction anybody. They can't do anything else. The national testing body in America is USADA. If
Está bien.
Subriel
Mira,
Matisse, if
mira, mira.
Subriel Matisse,
Ya, está bien,
let
está
me
bien, está bien,
finish. Let
está
me
bien,
finish before you
Papi,
jump
papi,
in.
papi. Hey,
Let me
listen,
finish,
listen, listen,
please.
listen, listen,
I'm
Go,
going to
listen.
be a
go,
That little
go
second.
mic of
ahead.
yours is from
Let him
Braden.
finish for.
I
Put him on the
If
know.
clock. Put him on the
if
clock. Put him on
Subriel
the clock,
Matisse
Bob.
was tested by
Listen,
USADA,
papi. Who gonna
if
fight? Who
if
is gonna
Subriel Matisse
fight
was
for the
going,
for the WBC title now? Who's gonna fight? Chivas
everybody,
and who? And
and
Embil.
Billy,
So they
technically, and Billy
needed
should be the champ.
excuse. They needed
Now,
excuse. Mauricio Suleiman needed excuse to take a title away from from
No, they
Crawford
don't, bro.
and let
No,
it
Yeah.
they
Shiraz
listen.
and
No,
let
Don't
it
let me
fight
finish
for
your
it.
zone. Can I
This
finish the
is
point I was
just
on?
what it is.
Put him on the
Right,
clock. Put him on the
My
clock.
let me
5-year-old son.
finish, please.
All
So
right, all right. Let him
if
finish. Let him,
if USADA had tested Subriel Matisse, he'd be looking at a 4-year ban because both tests come back positive. But technically, it's negative under NYSA. But
VADA or USADA cannot give any penalizations. Is the
yes, it
New
can.
York State of no, brother?
Incorrect.
The
Bro,
Incorrect.
no,
the
Bada
New
No,
York
not
no,
State
doing
Athletic
nothing.
Commission
It's
gives
the
the ban,
athletic
bro.
commission.
no
It's
way
the ban.
USADA
You
did
got
that. No way the
you got
WADA code.
different athletic commission. You are from
yes.
Britain.
Yeah.
You got
I,
Britain law. In
I
America,
know I'm
every
speaking true.
state
I know
have an
about this.
athletic commission. Every single state,
They're right,
51
brother. They're right.
athletic
No.
They're right.
commission.
They're right.
Each
So
commission
They just
got
report
let me
the
finish.
they just
1.7,
Yo,
report
as
the
he has
yo,
test.
can
said.
we get one
Each
at a time,
commission.
please,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
people
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah,
understand
yeah,
Let
what's
me
yeah,
going
yeah.
explain
on?
to him because
Please
Okay,
let
he's
me
so
okay,
finish.
slow.
okay. Wait, everybody talked long enough. Hold on. Let me
Yeah,
talk. Hold on.
sorry,
I'm sorry.
Edward.
Go
I
ahead.
take the blame because I brought so many different axes on the panel.
It's no. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. I
Aquí,
love it. I
¿qué lo
love it.
que,
But
papi? ¿Qué lo
but
que?
but but the thing is this. The thing is this, right? I think Wada was the one that handed down the suspension to Connor Ben. So they handed down the suspensions out there. Out here, it's usually the state that you're in and the boxing commission, like the New York Boxing Athletic, California Boxing Athletic
Nevada
Committee.
State Athletic
No.
Commission,
Yes, things
Florida
like that. And
Athletic
they're the ones
Commission.
that hang
Yeah,
down our suspensions. And
They're
penalties.
the only one that can ban you in all jurisdictions as USADA will
right,
ban them in the US and the WADA codes work with the Boxing Federation of the world and the World Boxing Federation and every fighter has a license with them and they can withdraw it. Because what WADA done was see Mauricio Lara, he failed a WADA test in the UK, but he can still fight in Mexico. You
right.
can't ban him there. But it's a worldwide ban with USADA. If you get banned in the UFC, you can't fight MMA anywhere in the world.
Because
Well,
England got
Because
the BBC,
if you,
Mexico
yeah.
got another athletic commission because it's another
the
country.
BBC
The
can ban
USA,
them.
each country, like Saudi Arabia, they
If you get
fight
banned,
under
yeah,
the British Boxing Commission. That's the
correct.
BBC,
And
right?
then
No,
they
but
can't
now
get
they
a
What
have their
license
happened
to
own.
over
it.
Now they
there
have their
doesn't
own.
matter in the United States.
It
What
does.
happened in England? No, doesn't matter because are
No,
two different. It's like two
wait.
different countries. The
Both
But
of you
BBC is
guys are
one
right in a
country.
way, though. Both of you
The
guys are right in a way because
Mexico
if
Commission
you
is another country.
because
It's
a
correct,
another
dirty
laws.
fighter, a dirty fighter from the United States won't be able to fight in England because they'll be like, "Yo, bro, like here's the
Okay,
here's
so
the
I'm gonna give you another example. Mike
go let the
Tyson,
guys speak.
when he bought the
No.
ear of Holyfield, he was banned to fight in Las Vegas, in New York, in the United States, where he went and fought in England.
Yes.
Why? Because he
True.
wasn't banned from
Yeah. Connor
England.
Ben was banned in the UK. Where did he go and fight? In
Because
Las
America.
that was a
Vegas.
VAT.
You're
Conor
right.
Ben
You're
was
right.
better because that was a VADA test. It was
Right.
not done by UCAD. When Tyson Fury was tested by UCAD, could he fight for 2 years? Anywhere. Worldwide ban. Couldn't fight anywhere. Right? You have these
Oh,
other fighters who've been banned, and that is why VADA are useless. But under the WADA code, if you're an athletics person, you can't run anywhere in the world if you're tested positive in
So let me
America
ask you a
or
question. Do you
anywhere.
think? So let me ask you a question. Do you think Subriel Matias is guilty? Yes or no?
Under a VADA test under the NY State Athletic Commission, he is not guilty. I wouldn't have opened the second bottle. I wouldn't have opened the second test because technically he never failed. But
Right.
anywhere else in the world, or if
Right.
that was USADA that tested that, he would be banned.
so
Unfortunately.
what? So what you're saying is that USADA has more stricter laws than
You,
BADA?
yes. USADA,
Okay.
yes, USADA are the national testing body in America. Every country has one, and they come under the WADA code,
So
right?
why doesn't everyone align with USADA? Why do we push BADA?
USADA are the America is the only country in the world that doesn't test pro fighters.
Right.
They're national testing body.
Okay, gentlemen. Hold on. Let's just back up here for a second, right? And I just want to inform the boxing world, and let's just discuss this. It's not like these guys are associated with boxing. It's not like these guys can just walk up to a gym and grab any professional and say, "Hey, I want to test you," and that guy has to give him his blood or his urine. That's not so.
Under USADA, they would have
They
to.
have absolutely nothing to do with boxing. They're a hired outside doping agency
Correct.
that are stamped, that are certified. So by
No, they're
you
not
hire,
certified.
so while you hire them as an athlete, it's saying that they're saying that you're clean. So it's proving you're being proved by one of the highest doping agencies in the world. One of them.
Nobody recognises VADA.
Okay.
Not one country.
Okay, but they're trying to
Turkey
sell it to
LFC,
you in
no?
America. They're trying to sell it to you in America. Now, but what I want you to understand is unless you're signed up to them, unless you hire them, and the only people you got to answer to is the people that the New York Boxing Athletics send to you and the WBC, whoever they hire, whatever doping agency that is.
Correct.
But now, if that Vada just walks up on me and says, "Hey, I want a urine sample,"
They
I
can't
don't
do
gotta give
that.
you shit.
If you're
But
a world champion,
USADA
if
could
you're
do
a
that.
WBC, if you're a WBC world champion, of course you could. Of course, it's mandatory you piss in this cup because you're part of the WBC, clean
Okay,
See,
boxing
that's
now,
program.
can I answer
you're
on
getting
this?
things mixed under the screw. Wait. Now, if the WBC hired them as their, you better piss in the cup. Yes,
Of
you're
course,
under
and they
their law.
do
Yes,
because they
So
have
see,
the
they
box,
see
the
that.
because
clean
they
boxing.
acquired them. But
Yeah,
VADA, it says it in their name.
yeah. Voluntary
Voluntary,
anti-doping agency.
Voluntary.
yeah.
Voluntary.
Voluntary. You gotta
I get you. I feel you.
volunteer.
I hear you. I
USADA.
hear you.
So USADA is the national testing body,
Yeah,
the
unless
anti-doping.
someone
No.
hired like a
USADA is the
promoter.
USADA
United
can turn up to
States
you and ask you to piss.
Anti-Agency
Yeah.
Doping.
Yeah.
So
Okay, read the
by
acronym. Read
right.
Yeah.
each letter represent a word. It's a acronym.
Right.
So
Yes.
USADA, United States Anti-Doping Agency.
Right.
VADA,
Right.
Right. So
Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency.
check it out.
WADA, word like that. Dale, you keep it.
Right. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is the reason why Bill Haney and Devin Haney and them got on the 365 because now they can come out with their badges at any time and test you.
So
They
no, do
have
you want
the
to laugh
right
at
now
this? No, do you want to laugh at this though?
because you're signed into their program.
Do you know
See,
what
because
do you know what that 365 24/7 testing is? That isn't actually they could come up and do it. You have to only start testing 8 weeks before a fight, and then you have to have a fight booked. So that 365 24/7 testing isn't actually that.
right.
If you look on the Nevada website, it will say we will only be instructed 8 weeks before your fight date. So that's where the
No,
WBC are lying.
because
It's on
because
this. It's
Brian
on the
Norman
Nevada
Jr. started
website.
getting tested like 4 months before.
Who's
Brian
who,
Norman.
who
Brian
who's
Norman.
on who's on this clean program? Look at it. Vada will tell you it's on the thing. It says we were instructed 8 weeks out when you have a fight signed. USADA can test you anytime, anywhere. That they have to sign in 24/7 whereabouts. If you have 3 misses on that 24/7 whereabouts and you didn't say where you're supposed to be, you get banned. You look at they do it
And
all over the
who pays
world.
for that one? Who pays for that one?
The
Who pays for
government,
that
the
one?
Olympic Committee, the government, because that's why they can ban you everywhere. Every government has a national testing agency. Every single one of them. Every one of them. So that's who's paid for that. So it's anti-corruption, everything. It uses the same testing laboratories, and you can be worldwide banned. And that's a fact. And the simple thing is, the rules in fucking Japan, the rules in United Kingdom, the WADA banned list is the same all over the world. No matter what. No 0.1 in New York, no 0 in Los Angeles, no 0.2 in fucking Wyoming. It's the
Nick
same
Doonan.
everywhere.
Nick Doonan. Let me ask you a question, brother. And this is a
Yeah.
genuine question. Do you
There you go.
believe in some sort of contamination of supplements, bro? Like out of your control?
So this is where I will say that. Under the WADA code and under all the organisations, you are responsible for what you put into your body.
Do you believe
Please listen,
I
please listen.
understand that.
They're out on
But
the
do you
WADA
believe there's
website.
nothing?
There is on the WADA website. There is a supplement list that they test and is clean. everywhere.
But do you yourself
Approved.
believe that boxer can be contaminated without his free willing? Do
No
you
with
believe in
Austin,
that?
no with Austin, no.
No. Okay.
Because
So you
Austin's
don't believe
banned.
in the.
Austin's banned by medical. Oh, nowhere in the world should make Austin. You should.
What
It's
about the?
illegal to make anywhere.
What about the?
No, it's not illegal
It
everywhere.
is. You cannot.
And
You
other
cannot get a
companies,
doc.
you
You cannot
So
understand
get a
that.
that?
company to use that. No.
So then in your
Yes.
eyes. So then in your eyes, Subriel Matias is a cheater. Say it up, straight up, bro.
Under that, well, no, I don't think he. I don't think he's done it deliberately. But
But I just asked you. I
I
just
don't think
asked
he.
you, bro.
I don't
And
think he's a
then
cheater.
All
I
right,
just
hey,
asked
yo,
you.
to my new guest, Jay. What's up, Jay? How you doing?
What up, Jay?
Jay, you there?
Yo, what you guys think of the first official fight in the undercard of Shakur Teofimo? You got 160-pound
I
strap
got some news to
WBC.
break.
What's
I
up?
got
What's up?
some
What's
news to
up?
break.
¿Qué lo que, papi? ¿Qué lo que?
All right, all right. Guys, you know, you might be upset with me because it's supposed to break tomorrow or whatever. But you want to know some, you know, I got my own
What
show
up?
to run here. All right.
What up? What up? What up? What
But
up? Round one?
Richard Hitchison was scheduled to fight Jermaine the Technician Ortiz.
He ain't taking that
And
fight, bro.
and that fight was 99% signed as of like today. And guess where that fight was going? It was going on the co-main of that card right there you were talking about.
Yeah, I know.
And
Yeah.
and then he pulls out at the last minute.
Who?
Richard Hitchison.
For
Bro.
real?
Yeah, and he's gonna fight, I
See
guess,
what I said? The skin
Lindolfo
color
Delgado.
is the heart. It's a
Nah.
Haitian.
He's gonna
You know,
fight
the
Nagano
skin
for
color
the.
is the heart.
Yeah,
The
he's
American
gonna fight
heart is
Lindolfo
way
Delgado
tougher,
on that
Papa.
undercard for the
That's whack.
Shakur Stevenson and
But
Teofimo Lopez fight.
I thought Nagano was with the other belt. Like he was trying to. Now he's fighting for the IBF.
They
Hello,
offered
hello.
him,
Yeah.
they offered him the fight, and then at last minute he ran out on freaking Jermaine. You don't want that smoke.
Oh
Because he
Nah,
knows
man.
nah, you
Jermaine
don't
was
want
gonna
that
From
be
the
a
smoke,
good
land of
nah.
fight
the
for him.
You
brave,
don't want that
Papi.
smoke. You don't want that smoke. Hey,
Yo,
You don't
fellas,
want
you hear
that
me?
smoke.
Hey, frontline.
You hear me? You hear me?
Frontline.
Yeah, what up, front line?
What up?
What up, frontline?
What's up, man?
Round one, you hear me?
What's up?
Yo, what up, my dude? How you doing? What's
You
going
hear
on?
me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can
we
hear
hear
you.
What's
you.
going on? Oh yeah. Okay, I just fixed my mic. What's up, man? Just been
Yo,
following your
welcome to the
channel.
panel, man.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here,
Welcome.
man. I like it. High quality
Well
channel.
done.
You know, I've been following recently for like a month or two, and
All right.
yeah, man, I enjoy the content, and you know, my name is Jay.
What do you think about what do you think about the topic we talking about
I
Subriel and
I think there's like a little witch hunt, little funny shit going on. They trying to get them stripped. They want the fight canceled. You know, and I think it's bullshit.
I agree.
You know, and fucking the
You
sanctioning
believe in
body cleared.
contamination? You believe in
It's
contamination?
consistent with contamination. That's the reason why there's a certain
consistent? Thank you, my brother.
Hey,
Thank you.
that's the reason why there's a certain amount that is consistent with contamination. Like I said, and he came below that certain amount, so then he's fine. He's not. It wasn't to gain an advantage. It was contamination. This is why the WBC said he's not gonna get stripped. The fight could go on, and that's it. So anybody pushing any type of narrative or whatever agenda they want to push is just, it's like some type of, they're trying to sabotage him pretty much, bro.
yep.
That's exactly what they're trying to do, man. And I said it. I said, man, what if this is a situation, man, that Subriel and these guys are like us? We, that little company that we started, that promotional
Right.
company that challenged all the big wigs, and it seems like everybody at the top is not helping them.
No.
It's like
No,
everything
it's
they
trying to
talk about is
sabotage.
just to put down. It's just
They're
a straight
the whales.
sabotage. They released this campaign knowing that he was clean because he was under the threshold,
Crazy.
but yet the
He's not
damage
clean
was
though. He's
done.
not. Hey, I'm sorry, round one. He's not clean. He's cleared.
Time out,
Okay, okay.
time out, because I know Hugo was gonna
Man.
say that
Hugo,
shit.
Hugo,
In
my
the blood,
man,
he's-
Hugo,
He's
Hugo,
a-
for the love of God, Hugo, for the love
Go
of
ahead,
God.
papi.
He's a clean
Okay,
fighter,
listen,
bro.
listen to me. You
Go ahead, papi.
are right to say that in your own right. Okay, we get it, but
He's not clean. He's cleared.
we are
He's
saying
clean, Papi.
Oh
we are
God, here he
saying
goes with that bullshit from the
we are
boxing
Yeah.
saying
gloves.
that the
Of course, he's from
professionals have
California. What do you
deemed him
expect?
clean.
He's a
That the
California guy.
Yo, the
professionals
boxing
You're
voice
that
panders to Morenos, bro.
look
The
Yeah.
boxing
over.
voice,
Listen,
that's
Round
it. They're
one.
not gonna defend the Spanish fighters.
hold on,
Round
hold on.
one.
Let
I've
me
put
ask
the
this.
link
Let me
in
ask
that thing. You
something.
click it on it. Austin is not approved for human use anywhere in the world, sports or not. You
Oh
cannot
my
buy
There you go.
Austin
God.
off a
He
shelf.
got a blood
Ho-
work that he was clean. He
hold
traveled
on,
to New York and
Melasa,
followed
Melasa.
me.
I got this,
Dale,
papi.
dale, dale. Sí,
Papi, I
tú
got
sabes
this.
cómo
I
yo
got
me
this.
pongo.
¿Qué onda, pues, papi?
Oye,
Diga, ¿qué es lo
Hugo,
que? ¿Qué es lo que? Diga, diga.
Hugo, answer this for
Aquí,
me. Answer this
adelante,
for me.
diga, diga,
Right,
diga, diga.
the A sample came back with adverse finding.
Mm.
Right.
0 point, no, point zero,
Hold on,
point
but
zero
hold
eight.
on,
Okay,
Hugo. Let me
dale,
get my
Let him
papi.
point across,
finish.
and then I'm gonna
Okay,
ask you the
papi.
question at the
Dale,
end.
papá.
B sample
Okay.
was tested. That's where they found a percentage of 0.085. Now, fast forward after that,
Okay,
right?
papi.
They tested Matias 4 more
I
times.
don't know where you're
And
getting this information from.
Pedrito said it on your boy's channel today. He was tested 4 more times after that, and all 4 times it came back negative. What does that tell you?
Look at that.
I
It's not
He's
cleared.
clean,
It's
nigga.
not. It's not
No.
cleared. He's fucking
On
clean.
the
Exactly.
A and the B sample failed.
He's a
Because
clean
Hello,
fighter, bro. Just because a
do
little bit
you understand what is
contamination.
contamination? Contamination
Yeah.
isn't just because you took it. Contamination can
It,
happen in some other way.
I
Somebody
think
else was touching you.
yeah.
The way they transport the
so.
urine.
You can have that.
They
No,
can
they
do
can't.
like
No, 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 no. They
20,000
can't get it
ways
by
to
transporting it. No,
contaminate.
no, no.
But this
It's no,
stuff
no.
is
That's sealed in front of
BS.
you.
Mira, I
That's
don't care.
bullshit.
My boy gonna whoop
That's bullshit. Some you
your
can't open
British
it
shit
here.
like we
Sorry,
always do. I don't
that's
care
bullshit.
what British
They
people
can't.
think.
Nobody
You
can
need to
open it.
understand. We don't
Dalton
care.
Smith is
We
getting
don't care
stopped,
what
bro.
you people
Oh, I'm
think.
not.
We
Oh,
don't
Matisse, I'm not
care.
Dalton Smith.
He's
We
gonna
know what
quit.
our
He's gonna quit
boxer's
on the
gonna
stool.
do. We're
Watch.
gonna clean the floor with your boxer and keep moving on.
I
You know,
don't.
we don't
Yeah.
care what the
Niggas
haters
in
say.
Scotland though.
We don't
Scotland don't
care
really fuck
if
with
Hey,
England.
papi,
the
está
Smith
bien,
say
está bien.
something.
Mire,
We
mire,
don't care
mire,
if
mire.
California say something because we're in the East Coast and we run the East Coast. Over there, the weirdos of California, they can play with their skirts and do what they want to do.
In
In the East
Hollywood,
Coast,
in
where the
Hollywood, right?
hands
You guys do
run,
your
we
job,
do what we
but
want to
give
do.
us a
And
chance
Subriel
afterwards,
Matias
papi.
gonna fight this January, like it
Bueno,
or don't like it,
do your
and we
Yeah.
job,
gonna
papi.
whoop
Didn't
some
come at me
British
about.
ass.
Didn't come at
That's
me about
it.
Puerto Rican fighters beating Scottish fighters because I'll pack you up. That's just a fact.
Yo, Mick,
That's
Scottish fighters. What
Mick,
happened
real
to
quick.
John
Same
I'm gonna
Cena?
pass
island.
through the
We don't
mic real
care.
quick,
It's
but
the
yo,
same island. For
BT
us,
man,
it's the same
5'8" in
island.
the chat, real quick.
Hello.
Listen up.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
talk. No, you're real quick. Let me get the mic for a minute, all right? Yo, BT man, 5'8". If you want to get on the panel and talk, go ahead. But if not, you can stay in the chat. Like the past 2 years, you've been sucking Devin Haney's dick, being a Haney sexual on 3 accounts, making 300 comments on every fucking Haney video because you got no fucking life, motherfucker. So you want to get on the panel and talk with some real Latinos, real motherfuckers on the mic. My man Hugo, my man Frontline Edwin, my man Mick, who's Scottish Latino. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna stay in the chat like a bitch. Keep texting, motherfucker.
I love that
Right.
cookie.
Hey, Goki, tell him how you really feel.
Stop it, stop it. Don't even do that. But anyway, look, guys, look, guys. I have to admit that although opinions aside, Subriel Matias, his image took a blow here. It's up to him to show us, just like Ryan Garcia, okay, that we want to see if it was the Austrian, and we're giving him like, this Mario Barrio fight. So it's not the end of the world where we've seen just he's not the first fighter, so all I'm saying is this is that his image took a hit, but I believe him when he says he never cheated. I believe him. Nothing in his
So round one.
character,
Can I? Can I?
nothing in that tells me that he did, and he never
Can I?
really,
Can
Okay,
I
there's a
add to
reason.
that? So
Let me say something real quick. There's a reason why the Janabek fight got canceled, and there's a reason why the Matias fight is not getting canceled.
there is a
Because
reason. There is a
yes,
they're
reason.
not gonna let. If he was cheating, they're not gonna let him fight. Plain and simple. That
technically,
means, and if
technically,
the and if
no,
they're
technically
letting
the
him fight,
Matisse fight,
and, and
Matisse wasn't over. Janne Beck's over, so they can't let him fight. But
All right, I want my
um,
guest that keeps popping in and out here to see get a
can,
moment.
can I
Hello,
just say something
Mike,
on
hello.
the
Can you
on the
hear me?
Austrian thing, and I'll jump out?
hello.
Look. Whatever. The fight is on. It's gonna go on. Look, Subriel Matias, you get passed through Dalton Smith. We'll be waiting. El Pitbull Cruz de Baja California,
Yeah, that's a great
Mexico.
fight.
Send that fucking contract over. I
El
believe
Chihuahua.
and I know damn well you
That's a
will
good
not send a
fight.
Ah,
contract
Dios
to
mío.
Pitbull. Send a contract to
Papi,
Yeah, we have to
Pitbull.
Pitbull
send
couldn't
the
get through
Cruz in Mexico.
Roach.
Send a
Pitbull
Yeah,
couldn't
contract
get
to
through
yeah,
Pitbull,
will
Roach.
be
and
another
I
one.
fucking believe that we'll put your ass on a 12-week drug testing with
What?
snacks.
Yo,
La
Yeah.
cucaroach, la
Sí, el
That's the
cucaroche,
cucaroach,
el
cucaracha.
la
pitbull, el que
cucaroach.
tumba
La
todo,
cucaracha.
papi, el que
la
tumba
Le
cucaracha.
dio
Yo,
todo.
confidencia al
La
All right,
pitbull.
cucaracha.
everybody. Hugo, out of all the champions there, Subriel always showed Pitbull Cruz respect because he
Of
used to
course,
train in Mexico and everything.
of course. Hell
But
yeah,
I
much
like
love.
that fight. I
Of
like
course.
that fight though. That would be a
Send
real
that
bout because
contract
neither
over
guy's
though.
gonna want
Let's
to take a
push that
step
fight.
backwards.
Good fight.
What
You
the
know,
fuck?
neither guy's gonna want to take a step backwards. That's gonna be a real forward. Bam,
Now
bam,
that's a
bam, bam,
fight,
bam.
dog.
That's the
Yo,
fight of
Hugo,
the
I
year,
got love for
bro.
you. Hugo, you're my favorite West Coast guy, but even Malasa and I know that Pitbull Cruz doesn't want that fight right away.
Of course we'll
Ah,
take that
he,
fight, bro. What?
Nah,
But
not yet.
Hugo's
but
Not
I'm gonna
yet.
talking
tell
for
you
himself,
something, bro.
not for Eastside Pitbull Cruz.
Bro,
He ain't
we'll
I,
talking
put you
for
guys
him.
on a
I
12-week
heard
Yeah.
interviews. Pitbull,
WBC weekly
he sound kind of
boxing.
different about
The
Matias.
referee wasn't in my favor. The judges was against me. The fight in the sky was against me. They don't put the light properly for me. That was the reason. Chico, llorona.
Yo,
Llorona, culo, mamón.
Hey yo, but no, all jokes aside though, all jokes aside, on that Subriel Matias shit,
Mm.
nobody's talking about the four times
What the fuck?
after that he got tested, they all came back negative. Why isn't nobody talking
Because
about
they
that?
want to push a narrative and they have an agenda.
Because they
Because
want to
you only
destroy
Exactly.
this
because you only
card.
have to fail once.
They want to
That's
destroy
enough.
this card. They don't
Anyway,
want this
can we
Puerto
But
Rican
talk?
but
card
but
to
hold
Can we
on, hold
talk
on.
about
exist.
Hey
the
Scott.
biggest Puerto Rican star?
Okay, so back to what you just said. All you have to do is fail once. The key word is fail. He never
He did
failed.
fail.
It didn't fail.
No, that's not
They
fail.
found
One
adverse. It was an
nanogram is
adverse
failing.
finding.
Okay.
Point
There's
nine
a
nine
fine
nine
line. There's
is
a
in
fine
failing.
line between an adverse finding and a fail. You didn't
No,
fail because you didn't technically cross the threshold to qualify to fail because you were beneath it.
Okay,
You see, so
Google eye strain right now,
worldwide that's
Edwin,
banned.
and put it
Zero,
on the
zero.
panel.
Any other country or any other state in the world.
Yes,
Zero. The level is
California,
zero.
yeah,
Texas, Las
but I
Vegas.
Bro,
understand what you're
you can't
saying.
even
I
see
understand.
New
it.
Wait,
York's the only one at
everybody,
0.1.
whoa. I understand what you're saying, brother. I understand what you're saying about that any country in the world, but we cannot talk like that when we're judging it here and the rules here. We
Correct.
cannot look at it. I'm sorry. No matter what it is, everywhere else, you can't do that. Now you're pushing the goalpost.
So
You
the
gotta
what
judge it for what it's here. And here
Remember,
on the New York Boxing Athletic Committee, it is 0.1.
was
And
he
here,
tested in New York? Where was the blood taint about?
The
huh?
fight is in New
But
York.
hold
one
on.
nanogram. You need to
The fight
understand what
is
is
in New
one
York.
nanogram and what is 0.999, 0.167, 0.085 nanograms. If you don't know those math, you cannot understand. That's
Eso,
the reason they
eso es un
say the
estúpido.
threshold is 1 nanogram
Eso es un
because
estúpido.
there are so many ways that can be contamination. So
Right.
and you need to understand what is 1 nanogram. You need to
It's
know
an
what is
illegal
one
banned
gram, and from
substance
one
by the
gram is a
law.
Hold on.
nanogram.
You need a
In the law, you
microscope.
Hey
can't
Scott.
buy it. It's illegal.
Okay. My
Scotland.
UK
Hey,
brother,
hold on, hold on, hold on,
my
hold on.
UK brother. Listen, the problem with this whole situation is this: is that if you were to say, why isn't Subriel Matias testing positive for high cholesterol or anything else? He's testing positive for a banned substance that can't be bought anywhere but the black market. Here's your problem: the same places that these athletes go to, there's the same places you could buy these banned substances. And in some of these cases, some of these same warehouses and factory make that product. There's called human error. You can't ever rule out human error. And if somebody doesn't change one cylinder or one cap after we made the Austrian batch and now we're making this batch, well, then contamination can occur. Then they'll take
Excellent.
the lot number, they'll take that bottle, the lot
Yep.
number, and they'll taste it, in which, in fact, Subriel Matias and his team has been transparent in that. And since you haven't heard anything back from it, you know, when they say at the doctor, if you don't hear anything back, it's good news, right? Because you could also see that no one's coming to his aid. They're not trying to clear his innocence.
Trying to
Not the
sabotage him.
WBC, not VADA, not none of them. It seems like none of them, they were quick to push the story out, but they gave him an answer that didn't make sense.
The
So I can
WBC
obviously
did
see
protect
that.
them, though.
I
Yeah.
can see that. I can see that though. Because even Ness on the Boxing Voice said for the first time he saw a Test B come back with the lines, no numbers. And if I was Subriel Matias and I got that back and I was talking with my homeboys, I would say, well, shit, if it didn't come up with no numbers, I even got to be lower,
No, the
right?
exact same amount was found.
You
It's
know,
been
so
released today. It's been released today.
you see, so when Subriel came out and said, hey, why isn't anybody talking about the Test B? I think he was in the right to assume there's no numbers on this. So if you don't got no numbers, it's got to be lower.
How can it be lower,
Yo, I
round
love when
one?
people compare.
It's the same. It's the same bag of piss and it's the same bag of blood that's taken at the same time in front of you and split.
It's in the camera. That's the translator Subriel need. That guy right here. You. Yes, because Cesar
I,
said that it's not doing a good and they're doing favor. That's the problem too, why they cannot express, because you see, it's like me trying to talk and stuff, and then other people jump in and we get excited and then the words don't come out.
Do you
when
know
when
the
somebody
biggest thing
know
that
how to speak
Subriel done
English
wrong with
properly,
Caesar?
you feel me? Then the other people can understand. But when you see Cesar, and he's doing what he can do, and I would wanna appreciate it. But bro, you cannot express yourself properly that the rest of the world will understand.
Do you
Yes.
know though?
Neither
You know what I
Pedrito,
would say though?
Ori. You can do all the
Caesar,
work with Subriel.
Caesar,
Talking
Caesar
in
brought
English,
somebody on a panel
but
that he
you
should
can
never
do.
have tried to get to explain it. I would never have
Yeah,
Memo Heredia on a
and I think
panel.
that's the problem there. They don't have somebody that
They had
can
they had Memo.
communicate English
They had
better.
Memo on with Caesar, but I wouldn't have Memo anywhere.
Listen, I'm
Memo,
sorry, guys. I took
Memo,
the day
Memo.
off that day. Today, I had some things to do with my daughter, but when I got back, you know, I even took shots in the thing, you know, from Cesar, you know, and it seems like he got frustrated because,
you caught a
yeah, and
stray.
then he didn't get out of what he was saying. He was just like they were over talking each other. And I don't think that Cesar expressed himself well, but I think he's well informed. I think he does have sources.
Oh
I
yes,
think he
yes, yes.
does look up things, and he's a
Right.
well-spoken boxing advocate for Latin boxing in the boxing community.
Yo,
So
round one, real quick.
yeah,
Crypto Bodie, he's asking for a link in the chat. And yo,
yeah,
Mick, can you go again about Memo Heredia? What you was talking about him on
Yeah,
Caesar?
yeah. So like Memo was like the person on describing it, but people forget Memo Heredia's dad was the brains behind Victor Conte. He was a scientist, and Memo Heredia was the drug dealer, right? But then you had a lot of fighter. So this is where he used the wrong source. So he had a lot. Memo Heredia then had a lot of fighters when he worked under Robert Garcia, I believe. And you
The
had
fake news
yeah, and then you had Brandon Rios, and then you had Lucien Booty, and all they kind of guys. And game what they and do you know what they failed for? Austinin. A lot of fighters that went under Memo Heredia failed for Austinin. And then they had him on speaking. I wouldn't have Memo Heredia anywhere where he's actually done articles saying, I can beat the tests. I can beat them. And then he couldn't because his dad isn't around anymore to beat them for him. His dad was is an unbelievable scientist.
That's
And
why the
people didn't
snack
realise
fighters,
that.
the snack fighters are in trouble. They,
Because naming a snack fighter that's failed. Because Victor Conte wasn't the brains. Victor Conte was proven to be stupid
because
about this, yeah?
because Conte knows when the tests are coming and he knows how to beat the test. He's affiliated with VADA. It's all a conflict of interest, bro.
Do you know? Do you know that? Do you know Victor Conte was put on panels as an expert, and then he got made to look like an idiot? That's why no other body uses him. But honestly, see, Memo,
That's the loophole right there. He comes in as a consultant, so he's not affiliated, quote
So what
unquote,
you're
on
saying
paper.
that this whole
He's
time Memo has always been the
Yeah,
mad
No,
scientist
it's
to
behind the
Victor
scenes.
Conten's
yeah.
serum.
Conte would take all the shit, but nobody would know about
Right,
Memo.
right,
aye, no,
right.
no. Well, so Memo actually done an interview, and I can put it in the
So
chat.
Snack isn't dead then, right?
Snack, 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 isn't he
Oh,
dead?
is Memo alive?
No, his
Yes,
dad.
he's alive.
Memo's alive. I don't think his dad is though.
Oh,
But
No,
his
he's
dad was a
alive, and
super.
all those are gossip.
Is Victor
You
Conte really
know,
dead? How about that?
yeah,
Yeah,
he died.
Victor
He
is dead.
passed away. God rest
but
his soul.
all that
Conte,
about Memo
Conte's out there in
Heredia
Cuba with
are
Tupac.
gossip. You
For
He's
know,
out there
real,
with
bro.
with Tupac and
I
Biggie.
guess that snack didn't help him,
Yeah.
huh?
Yo, shout out to Naldo in the chat, my man Naldo.
and
We got
you
love for
know what?
Naldo.
Hey, yo, read out some
It's
of the
like this
chat.
guy that you remember that he used to
What
scam
is it?
people and take their houses, and then he make an app to protect the
Yeah,
people. So Memo Heredia maybe knew how that life was and stuff. So that's the best person to tell us how
Right,
this stuff go
right.
and what is the chemicals and what is the percentage of what, because he know about
No,
it. He's an
that's the issue.
expert
It
about
does not.
the
Yeah, but let
topic.
me tell you something.
It's,
Let's be
the
honest,
things
guys.
it
Okay,
does.
okay, wait. Everybody chill for a second. All right, let me just ask the entire panel something. All right, look, let's be honest. When we go to these GMC stores and we go to these guys, we don't go to them and tell me, give me a vitamin that does absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
So what's the threshold, right? Apparently, Snack came out with something that works well, but undetected, or in another 10 years, they're going to finally realize and start banning some of the stuff that is in Snack. We'll find out then. I do not know. That's hypothetical. Now, but what I'm saying is this. Apparently, it's out there for everybody to use. And to say like what Victor Contes meet these guys in the back alley giving them some shit, they would be testing for this stuff. So apparently, look, guys, um, it took a lot for Terrence Crawford, I think, to put on that shirt and to believe into a person like Victor Content. There's a flip side to this coin. There's always been the version where I say people deserve a second opportunity, a second chance at life you know, and maybe Victor Content straightened out his stripes. Who am I to say? Because you haven't caught him doing anything wrong. And another thing was this, right? When you think of a person like Victor Content, right, and he goes to jail, the FBI or the people decide to hire him because rather than having him lurking behind corners doing all shit, just put him on the spotlight. Let him work his company and we can watch him.
Do you know who the
Because
grand witness? Do you know who the grand witness was to put Victor Conte in jail?
who?
Memo Heredia.
Okay. Now,
But see what I'll say is Victor Conte only worked with one boxer ever before this snack stuff.
Yeah.
And do you know who the boxer was?
who?
Shane Mosley is the only one that's ever Victor Conte worked with, and it was
I
a
heard.
cream.
Yeah. Now that you
And
say it, I briefly was
Mosley. That's why.
You know what?
about that
People
story with
always
Shane Mosley, but it wasn't Shane Mosley was
grand juried,
he
and they said I
proven at
used
the
it.
end that he wasn't?
No, he went to a grand jury and admitted using it. Yeah, that's the only way
Oh,
he got caught.
so he
Basically,
was so Shane Mosley is the
Never
was
popped. He
indicted.
never
Yeah,
popped.
no,
No, never
it was a
failed the
cream.
test.
he
Never
never
Never failed
failed
the
the test.
test. He just
Look at
got
that.
snitched on
by Memo.
Oh,
by the nigga who gave it to him. Make that make sense.
Memo.
It's like this guy
Aye, there
that
you go.
won the
so
cycling
he's the
There you
Jose
go.
Canseco of boxing. He's the
Who gave
Jose
him it?
Canseco of
Memo.
boxing.
Yo,
Yeah.
Memo,
Yeah,
salute to round one to the panel.
salute, baby.
but the guy that used to
Real
buy
bodies in
bicycles
here.
that won 7 times that the post office was the one funding him and stuff
Oh,
like
blame
that.
the post office.
100%.
I blame the post office.
No, I'm not blaming the post office, but
See,
he was riding. We
bullshit.
were
Works for the
friends.
post
He was
office.
riding
He
it. He
works for
won
the
it seven
post
times.
office. Yo,
He
Me la
never was
saca, cabrón.
drug tested positive. Some bitch snitched on him, and then they took the trophies out of him, and they claim he is a cheater and stuff like
oh,
that.
Do you know how many athletes Victor Conte actually went and worked with Balco? Do you know how much was actually worked with There was about 16. It wasn't like thousands of people. It was 16. And Shane Mosley was the only boxer. And he
The
went and
only
admitted, I used the cream.
Yeah, most of his case was Olympics, the Olympics, right? That was
Yeah,
the height of his and a little
yeah.
baseball, right? That's
Baseball, athletics, and then Shane Mosley. That's about it.
right. And then
Fuck
he came
Victor
up,
Khan. He fucked up baseball.
you know what I'm
And
saying?
boxing.
Fuck
Hell
And
him.
no,
boxing.
baseball was better
And
with Victor
boxing.
And
Canty
boxing.
on it. Now
With
baseball
that
is
snack pack.
garbage, bro. He's no home run
With that Haney
derby.
pack.
But the
Nah,
Haney pack,
With
bro.
that.
yo,
The
stop
arms
it,
from these guys
stop
is
it.
messed up and stuff.
Yo,
You know what?
yo,
I
yo,
always,
yo,
I always
round
get in
one.
trouble.
Yo, round
I
What
one.
up?
always get in trouble
You
What
because
up?
you know
I
when
am
Bill
I say I
You
am
know
not
when
a
Bill made that
PG.
shit? Oh, my fault. Let me let him go. Yeah, you know
I'm
when
not
Bill
even
got online, he was
PG.
like, "Do the Devin Haney, do the Devin Haney." You know
Yeah.
it was my comeback. Never pop on snack. Never pop on snack. Fuck out of here.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah.
Never
Yo,
pop on snack.
I want athletes to
look.
perform in the high
Let's talk
level.
about that Devin Haney performance, right? And I wanted to remind the world, right? Although we hadn't seen Devin Haney in quite some time since the Ryan Garcia, he came in that fight with Brian Norman Jr. and I only gave him an A on his performance because he was Devin Haney, but like lukewarm at best. You know,
A? That's
and
pretty high.
the power that he
Hey,
showed that when he
Give him
dropped
B
Brian Norman
B
Jr.
plus,
okay.
B
B
minus.
Round one.
minus. I give him
Round
B
one. I can
minus.
ask you a question real
He
quick.
dropped Regis Progress with the same
Okay, no,
power.
but wait, question.
I know, but mechanic hands is shite.
Compare Lara and compare Haney and tell me who got a better performance.
She told me to get it and
You
Who?
see? Lara
slide 8 down there.
and Devin Haney.
Yeah, but Devin Haney had a better opponent.
Okay, you want me? No. I mean,
Nah,
I
mechanic hands is
Mute your
shite.
mic.
Well, yeah, you
Yeah,
feel me there.
said,
Yeah. No,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, yeah, but Lara
You
making
can't get
more.
it something like that.
You know what
what up?
I didn't like about Devin. I don't want to be a hater because I don't
Right,
like to be a hater. But it's like, bro, okay, you knock him down one. Don't stay satisfied and say, oh, with this I can win effort and I go, bro. Try to give something
right.
to the fans, to
The
the
fans,
people that pay. Like give something else. You
What are you talking
right.
he
about?
can even knock
Devin
him
Haney,
out in that round. In the
Oh,
right.
second round, if Devin Haney push,
Yeah,
he can finish the fight in that round. But then he pulled back. Oh, I knock him down. Now I'm gonna go in cruise control. Bro,
right,
come on.
right. Well,
Devin's quite lucky. Turkey is
know,
about because like
you want to know
Boo Boo
something?
Andrade done the same, and nobody wants to see him now. Yeah,
Yeah,
and that
check
was
this
he
out.
done the same shit.
I
Just
don't know
tap
if
tap
any of you
tap.
guys remember this, right? But remember that Japanese dude, Naoya Inoue, the monster,
yeah,
when
yeah.
The
he
real
came out
monster.
and he texted and he posted because he rarely sell him every text, and
Mm.
he said that's the difference between us. These American guys don't go in for the kill,
You
and
know
he
who
was
he meant
saying
by
that about
American
Devin.
guys.
He
The
said that about
Morenos.
Devin Haney about Regis Progress. Remember when they
But he's
fought
but
when
he's
he
talking
It's
about
dropped
the
like
Cocolos. He's talking about the
right?
Cocolos.
Talking about the
Come on, brother. Come on.
Prietos.
So what I'm saying is that
Japanese
sometimes
warrior.
is it true? Some of these boxers, like they're a little bit behind silk sheets. They forgot what bought them that watch. They forgot to give us some blood and excitement. How do you guys feel about that? With Devin and his performance, and how do you grade him?
Oshaki was the same at the weekend. Yeah,
I mean, the
Nah,
only
Oshaki
thing.
couldn't like
Chucky give
Nah,
Oshaki could.
on a
a
serious
class.
note, Devin
Was a
Haney landed only
master
like
class. Made
72
Fulton look
punches.
like a fool. That was a master.
Oh,
Me
all of
Fulton
a sudden,
take
Devin
over
Haney landed 75 punches as a master class? How is that a master class? You got to do more than
because
that.
The
because
master class
the
was
Fulton
people believing Brian
no
Norman
who
was
One at a
decent.
time.
That
no
was the
because
master class.
Hugo.
Yeah, but Brian Over never beat nobody. He was just a belt holder.
Exactly. That's the
He was.
master class. They made people believe bolt
but
hands,
you can't
mechanic
blame
hands
you can't
was
blame
any
the
good.
public for believing in Brian Norman when he's coming off of two great performances versus Haney
They
going
didn't
into there
believe
with
in Brian Norman. They just hated
two
Devin Haney.
shitty performances. Like
Yeah,
don't make it seem
agree.
like people were
yeah.
picking fucking Brian Norman because he was looking good and Haney wasn't looking good.
And
No,
Devin
Yeah,
they
Haney
picked
that's
was
Know
Brian
that.
Norman.
pulling. We don't care
They
about
picked
the
Brian
guy
Norman
of that's
because
the
they didn't
difference.
like Devin Haney. That's why.
Okay,
Who's
But
your
let's keep it
Brian
real.
Norman
Brian
before?
you
Norman,
guys
Brian
and
Norman
us.
won one belt in his career. He was just a title holder.
Yeah,
It was
but
Exactly.
we were just excited about him because of his performances,
yeah,
but
we
he
don't
never
care
really
about the
accomplished much.
titles. It's the performance. You can have three division champions and whatever titles you want to have.
Like,
If
let's
you
not
don't give
act
us a
like
performance, we don't
exactly,
care. We don't pay for
Hmm.
your titles. We pay for the
Ex-
performance.
exactly.
And on
Let's
top
not
of
act
that,
like
and on
Devin
top of
Haney
that,
didn't get knocked out, didn't get beat
facts.
up by
And
Ryan
on top of
Garcia.
that,
He got dropped
it
five
was a
times.
50-50. It was a 50-50 fight anyway. So the odds maker
Yeah,
had
the
it
scores
even.
and
Only
the scores were close too. Didn't Devin Haney win by 1 point on the cards? So where is this blowout? Where is this masterclass that you guys are talking
I didn't
about?
see a masterclass. I just saw that Norman's chin. I
you
couldn't believe
do you
that
think Norman
Norman's
will win,
chin was
ever
that
win another
shitty.
fight? Do you
Norman
think
fought
Norman will
so
ever
No,
win
no, no,
another
bad.
no, no,
title?
no, no.
I
Wait.
think
See,
Norman was
see,
the
see.
nose.
That's right there is a great statement. You couldn't believe that Norman's chin was
Chin.
shitty. You know why? You know.
Yeah,
Wait,
I
hold
didn't
up.
know that
Nobody
like that
interrupt
though.
me.
Let him
You know
talk.
why you think that way? Because you've been fed this narrative that Devin Haney
Bullshit.
is pillow fisted. And then where did that come from? It came from Tank Davis, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, all fighters that never fought him in the ring.
Yeah.
And you were fed this
Go
thing
home.
that he was pillow
I'm almost
fisted,
there.
No damn
right?
room.
And now you're like, oh shit, Brian Norman's chin didn't hold up. No, he got cracked.
Yeah,
He
and
got
it was
cracked.
his nose, wasn't the chin, was the nose, and I think that was the reason he couldn't perform because he never has had his nose broke and was the second round. You cannot breathe for through your nose because blood is always coming down to your throat. So
Yeah,
he don't knew how to cope with that problem. His corner didn't knew how to work with that nose
He
properly,
He
fought an
didn't know
elite
how to
fighter,
stop.
that's
and
why.
David Haney
He
went
didn't
in
know how to
cruise
stop a
control.
jab. He didn't know how to
Right.
stop a
That's why.
jab.
but hold up. What was the punch that hurt him? The punch that hurt him was the
There was
check
a
hook to
hook.
the chin, and then the
Yeah,
one that broke his nose was the straight right.
I think it was the jab that was fucking up his
No, it
nose. I
went
didn't.
straight round. He hit him with the check hook,
I think
Boom.
it
and
was
then
the
he
up
went right
jab.
across
That
the
up
board.
jab.
Yeah,
Aye. Like
that
he
busted
fought
him up.
if he fought a fighter that had been fighting at an elite level for 5, 6 years, where Brian Norman 3 fights ago was fighting 8 rounders.
Because
That's the difference, yeah. It's a massive
because
step up.
that
But
It
guys,
happened
was
let's
a
only.
not
massive step up. Yes, it was. Yes,
let's
it
not
was.
act like we
And then,
didn't see Ryan Garcia beat up Devin Haney already and drop him 5 times. So how much of
yeah,
an elite
Correct.
fighter is Devin Haney when you got destroyed by Ryan Garcia, who never been champion?
But that happened, bro. That happened so many times. Like, look,
And it could happen
what is his name?
again.
Espérate. I gonna Lennox Lewis. Oh my god!
Mm.
And who knocked the hell out of Lennox Lewis?
Rob.
Rack. And who is that guy? Rack. And what he did after?
Yeah, but that was a
Nothing.
one-shot knockout.
So
That could
Yeah,
have
that's
been.
what
thank
I'm
you. Thank
saying.
you.
That
That was
wasn't a
completely
beatdown.
different. That was different. That was a
No,
one-shot knockout. He got beat down for 12 rounds, knocked down six,
Yeah,
that
five
let him.
times. Nah, different,
and
bro.
left with
Different
a
ass
It,
whooping.
broken.
it was a
Yes,
massive step up, man. A
but
huge
that
step up.
happened. That happened to Boots Ennis. Like Boots Ennis being whooping ass, and this guy he fought twice and he couldn't destroy him and
Karen,
look a close
Karen,
fight. It's
Karen.
always one boxer that even you're in the top, always is gonna be that nemesis of yours. It's
Yeah,
boxing, This is not basketball or this
Yo,
is
yo,
boxing.
round one.
yeah. What up?
I just want to say, fuck Ness. He a CI. Don't ever
Oh
go
yeah.
back on that CI's
I'm with
fucking
you, my
channel.
guy.
Yeah,
Oh
Yeah,
man.
fuck. He snitched.
Yeah.
He
He's
snitched
a
on a nigga named
chota,
Martinez. He snitched on a
Oh
nigga
my
named
god.
Martinez
Bro,
because he couldn't
he's a
sell coke and deal with it.
yeah.
Fuck
Yeah.
out of here.
he's a chota.
I've heard a lot of the stories and everything, and I try to separate myself
Read
from
it.
that.
You could read
It's paperwork.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
No.
I've read a lot of
It's
things.
I,
Gentlemen. Let me clear some things up. Let me clear some things up. And I ain't making no thing because I'm from the streets. All right, I'm
mm-hmm.
from the streets. But I remember when I was younger, a young hood dude taught me a lesson. And he said, if you do something in front of that old lady and she tells on you, and you come back and you call her a snitch, right? You can't do that because she's a citizen. She doesn't live by
Mm-hmm.
your code. And although Ness was under a different code, different thing, what I learned there in life was live and judge things accordingly to your life. What are you into? Like,
Nah,
hold on,
He's a
Edwin.
brother.
chota.
Hey,
He's a
Nope.
hey,
chota.
stop. I said, don't interrupt me. Now, my problem is this. I don't do business with you on the street. I don't hold myself to a standard that I no longer live. What I do is cover boxing. He established a pop platform that has a lot of boxers, I got to admit, that go there. So that's what I choose to do. We're not selling
Yes.
bricks behind in the streets. And I'm not holding him to something that he did in his past. Now, if people want,
He be in jail.
I tell you what,
Fucking with him.
I'm pretty sure he deals with enough bullshit on it on his own. I'm in it for the boxing and the purity of the sport.
Yeah.
I'm no longer living this life, and I have nothing to fear, nothing to hide.
But
Hacer las
let's not act
conexiones,
like he
papi,
doesn't
deja que el hombre haga
pander.
sus conexiones, porque así es que tú te metes en este mundo.
He panders to the black fan base. Let's not act like he
Oh,
doesn't do
pander
that
Nah, but
here.
hold
whoever you
on. I gotta
want
say
to.
something.
What?
What
Edwin,
is the
ba-
problem? Let people
Huh?
pander to whoever you want.
Edwin, based on what you said about the old lady, and you can't consider her snitch. The old lady's not in the game. He was
Exactly.
in the
I
game.
get it.
It's on papers.
So that's why I also said that doesn't work in his situation. But so,
Exactly.
Guys,
I didn't say that for him. I said that for me. What that taught me was to judge things for what you are in your life. Had I not been a criminal doing something bad, I wouldn't have to worry about her telling on me. I don't got to worry about that because I don't live that life. Now, if I'm not in that life, I got to stop binding myself by rules I once lived. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Look, I get it. That's a code and an error that I lived by, you know. But now
no
today I'm a
more. No
father.
more. Why we
Now
have to
today,
change
if
I
you,
it?
can talk sports. Now
See what
today
I
I can look, and I tell you what, I got I got I got my own skeletons in my own closet, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I
but you're
did
not a
some bad
snitch.
shit. But
But snitching ain't one of
I know
them.
I'm not. But still, it doesn't matter. But I gotta consider that even I said to myself, and I tell my sons, even you deserve a second chance at shit. So if I believe by that, my God in my Bible tells me that I gotta live by according my life. And all I'm doing is talking boxing. So since we're not on a corner in a block doing something, and I'm not going out there trying to, like at the end of the day, like, he's I
No,
guess he's
you're
trying to,
good, man. You're good
so
because you know
Listen,
what?
if you
What
just
you
can't do the
wanna
respect
do,
me.
time,
Know me as a
this is
man. You know what I'm
if
entertainment.
saying? Know
You
me.
wanna give news. You wanna know
Yeah.
boxers. You wanna have your connections, and it's good.
if you
Ness
can't do
is
the time,
different
don't
from
do the
us. He
crime.
wanna prove that he's
I
more
get it.
American than us. That's
He has
it.
no
That's why he
dignity.
do
He
what
has
he
no
do.
so
dignity.
I
He's
so
a
get
what I
it.
can say on
backstabber.
that
Because
is
he wanna
the
prove that
biggest thing
he's
that's
more
killing American
American than us.
boxing is the
Because
fan
he's not
base.
American like
But
us. He
brother,
has
but
to
he
prove
has
it.
all this. He has all of the characteristics. He's a narcissist. He's manipulative.
It's
He's
okay.
very. He likes to
I
throw
get.
shade. He likes to.
I don't
He's not.
support him.
He has
That's
no
what I can
fucking
watch
like
him.
dignity, man. He
But
has no
I
that's what
get
I
it.
can
respect.
watch
Ayo, and
him. But let it round
and
do
what he
his
did to
thing.
Cesar Seda
Let it
today,
What he
round. I
did?
don't
he
watch
get
him,
no
but I
Yeah,
know
What
respect.
he
the,
he's
did? What he
responsible for
did?
doing his thing and
You
going to
gotta
other
watch the
channels
video.
and being
Bro,
in
what
other
the
You gotta
places
watch the
I'm
Yo,
gonna
clip.
check it
everybody's
out.
Bro,
talking
he
over each
straight
other.
up
Chill.
see,
Chill.
he straight up disrespected Cesar Seda
Look
because
at that.
Cesar Seda don't speak good
Look
English.
at
bro.
that.
Yeah. Well,
that's
He
the
has
maybe
biggest
all
issue
the.
in American
practice
boxing.
He
because
did
that
that on
happened
some
He
before
bitch
has
too,
no.
shit.
and
He's
I
a
look
rat.
at it.
That he has all the characteristics of a rat, bro.
Right on, can I actually
A
speak on this as an
backstabber.
outsider?
A
All right,
complete
now.
backstabber, bro.
Let's get back to boxing. Go ahead, brother. What you were saying?
The biggest issue in American boxing is this shit. Fucking black guys be picking black fighters, Latinos only root for Latinos. It becomes a whole race thing. It's like, man, we're on code, we're off code. Oh, I can't say nothing about that fighter, and all the integrity goes out the window. It's just like
Don't get
it's
it
like an
twisted,
argument back
papi.
and
Don't get
forth,
it.
yeah.
Listen. Don't get it twisted with us because we can fight against each other and this way and that. But when we get united, you can see what we do in Syria. You see what we did in Afghanistan. You see what we did in Korea. You know what we do in Vietnam. Papa, don't get twisted. We can argue between us and stuff and our boxing, but we unite too and we take care of business. That's what family do
Well, I
because
think
we
Strength
I
make
in
think
us
But
numbers.
it's
united.
toxic. It's
yeah,
And it's
I
toxic.
toxic in everything
It's
in
toxic
sport,
in
in
the community.
basketball, in
okay.
baseball,
Hold
soccer.
on, guys. I think that one for one, the American boxing fan is very spoiled. When we come from an age from our original four horsemen and we seen the Floyds and the Miguel Cottos and all that of the world, that it's hard to impress American fans. European fans, they love a good squabble. They're always fighting after soccer games or fighting here and there, and they respect the fact that two men get in there and fight. It's a different culture, and all around the world they treat it different, but they always say if you can make it here you can make it anywhere. So to really impress the American fan, it's something big. You got to be big because you're bringing something either we never seen before, or you're bringing the typical, like, what I consider Isa Pitbull Cruz. Why do I think people gravitate to him? He's the
This is the way
Because
he
he's always
fight.
in a good fight.
he is the spitting of the little guy that can.
Mhm.
He's got all like the underdog story, the little guy. Yo, you guys, what's not to like? He's
So I
exciting. He's
agree, Edwin.
explosive. You know what I mean?
He's
So
exciting
like,
fights.
yeah.
So
So
like
I think that's why they gravitated towards him. But I'm gonna tell you right now, American fans are real hard to impress. So that's why I think we got a different perspective on things, my man,
they're
of
all
how we
haters, eh?
view it.
It's like if you were a Errol Spence fan, all you'll ever do is discredit Terence Crawford forever, and that's like, and it just kind of moves on, and then it's like all the time, it's just so bad over there. It's mental. It's like when Crawford's probably the best fighter that America's had in the last 15, 20 years outside Mayweather. And he couldn't get tickets, so he got was shat on. Like, and then he says, Canelo says, who you ever fought? And he's like, came out Victor Postal, Ricky Burns, and they were like, who that guy? Who that guy? But then that guy was a freeweight world champion. That guy came into a decision. That guy gave him a better fight than what fucking Canelo did. But see what we done when he beat Ricky Burns' ass? We all cheered him out the ring. We all followed his career. We all says, by the way, he's a great fighter. But man, see over there, all they'll do is like Lamont Roach and Pitbull was a close fight. And all you see is, Lamont's cheated. Fuck that. They hate black fighters. Oh fuck, Pitbull won. They done that because it's just money. Like they can't just turn around and say, by the way, that was well done. Like Ricky Hatton came all the fans to fight Floyd Mayweather. Right, 30,000 fans. It was probably the last time Floyd Mayweather was cheered out a ring. Clapped and cheered out a ring because that's what it's about. It's all about great fighters. Alexander Usyk has destroyed the heavyweights out here. It gets cheered at the ring, cheered everywhere he goes, because that's what it's about. We're on the sport for great fighters that take great fights. But man, you see it over there. Can you remember a guy that used to be on here? It was Kaka TV. Man, he
Mhm.
gave the list of fucking excuses forever for Deontay Wilder. Then it was like you get the PBC guys and like see all that shit.
Mhm.
Nobody's interested in any of that. All we
Mhm.
want to see is the biggest fights and let's go. But we want to be honest with people. Like as soon as somebody loses, it's like, oh no, it's an excuse. Oh, like fucking this happened, that happened. Bullshit. See when it's a better fighter that's won, hands up. But like there's people that's in the community that will say no matter what, even if it was 12 rounds to 0, they'll say, I think he was cheated. I think he was
Yeah.
cheated. I think it was closer. Like that's all we really want. We
All
just
right.
want fighters to be fighters, and that's what the Japanese do. The
Right.
elite amateurs come straight in and fight. They're like the guy Tusobe who packed up Kudras. He made Carlos Kudras retire, and he was 3-0. He was 3-0, and like my Americans will just want to build them to like 21-0, 22-0, 23-0, fighting nobody. Man, that's where the big difference is, and that's where like Japanese and like Uzbek and Kazakh fighters are. They're going straight
Yeah,
into
but you gotta
fights.
understand. You gotta understand the American pressure, my man. You
The
don't.
biggest
You don't.
issue in America
Wait.
and with that is they cut the amateur funding. That was the biggest issue. So guys are turning pro too quickly, and they didn't know their skill or craft. So then they're trying to build them, and
Right.
that's really what happened. The last really good elite amateur was Shakur Stevenson, and
Yeah.
before that it was Andre Ward.
All right, hold on, hold on. Let me interrupt here. All right, you see the problem that I think that you're leaving out is that the American pressure on a young American fighter. The stereotype of being undefeated and the pressure of staying undefeated and having your um and the beginning part of the last 10 years, I think had a lot of pressure on my fighters. The one thing you talk about all our fighters constantly going against each other, the only reason why we do that in America is because we're trained to. See, because in America, football is only played in America. So Dallas is going to play the 49ers on a Monday night. They're both American teams, and we're told to pick a side and players, just like in the NBA, just like in baseball. So in America, we're taught to go against each other and to individually pick your player because that's marketed for what? Sneakers, things like that. So what the American boxing fan doesn't really realize is what's in front of them, that we're actually the representing America. We're the American team. Terrence Crawford, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, they're all on the same team. It's like the gold medals when America goes to and fights against all the other countries for what? The gold. That's exactly what we're doing. When you win a belt from the UK, you take it back to the UK or to Japan or to Russia. In actuality, this is Americans' team. And Tank, Devin Haney, they're all on the same, but America's so screwed up and they
No,
got us fighting against each other.
no,
And they
but
got
mira,
the
Ron.
own American guys picking as fans like they do where? In the NBA, in the NFL.
Yeah, but the difference is
And
like because all these countries are really small. Our state, one state is a country. So we have 51 countries in the union, you know?
right.
So every person from, because from Texas, like the people from Texas, they go for Ochaki Foster.
Yeah, but that's where you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to put them under one
But
umbrella.
remember, we're not used to all these
I know.
outside boxer
That's
like
why
we
we're
have it
divided.
now. We are more
But we
used.
shouldn't. We
That's why
shouldn't
we're
be.
divided like the NBA, like the
Yeah,
Like
basketball, like
you shouldn't hate.
baseball.
You shouldn't hate a
That's
fighter that
exactly
if
what
he
I'm
beats
saying.
your fighter, though. Yeah,
What you're
like
supposed
because
to say is, once you're from America, you're from America. Didn't matter from what. You're representing America. And
Hey,
remember the
Felix just
time
dropped some news. He said that I guess Yomi just contracted DirecTV for the Subriel fight.
oh yeah.
he did.
Yeah, Cox,
Nice.
DirecTV, all that network, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so you
Because
can rent it
this
more
is the
easier and
little
pay per
guy,
view.
doing their thing. And it just seems like the powers that be, are trying to stop them at every corner. I
so
don't
like
have, any evidence on pointing any fingers, but I'm not blind. I'm not blind. I remember there was a time where I saw something with my own two eyes. I saw Rodney King take that ass beating on the highway by those cops, and they try to say that that wasn't that. They try to tell me that what I was watching wasn't what I was watching.
But
And I've
see,
seen this. I've
see
seen
those that
yeah,
round
but
one
look
though.
who is doing it to us: the
We
British
have
and the Saudi Arabians, because they thought that we the Puerto Ricans are not. They don't understand how and why we are Americans too, and they thought that we are from
yeah, but
we are from Mexico,
Luis de
you know.
Cubis, and all these other promoters are the same thing. I can't
No,
say that.
but Luis de
yeah.
Cuba were
And, and
with Jomi and stuff like that,
yeah,
and did better
but they
work.
never broke. They
Oh
always
no, but
got to
of
take
course
their
they want to keep
fighters
their
and
elite.
take them
They're
to the
the
big guy.
whales.
That's
Like
why the networks left. Guys like that, PBC,
that's
they
They
why
cornered the
they
market and
pay.
they wouldn't fight everybody. But
That's
yeah.
one
why
thing
they
I'll
hate
say
Don
is,
King. Don't
one thing I'll
remember
say
they
is,
say that
round
Don
one.
King was a thief, and that because Don King did the same stuff that Jomi's doing. Because going against the whales, going against the sharks, and start getting these boxers and making these scores and making this money. Because Don King came out of jail, You know, he don't have
Yeah,
it
but
these
Don King
days.
was a gangster, a real
Yeah,
gangster.
and who are these people? Your
I
guys are
Gangsters, a
too.
What
bunch
you
of
think? Yomi
gangsters.
ain't
They're
Yeah,
yeah.
gangster?
all
you're gangster
gangsters.
too.
Round
How
one.
do you
But
how
see
do
what I
you
would say though, see Puerto Ricans, they do respect fighters for other countries as well though. Like the best British fighter ever won all his titles in Puerto Rico, Ken Buchanan. But see if you asked a Scottish or a British fighter, or who's the best fighter, they'd say Joe Calzaghe. And Ken Buchanan fought like Ismail Laguna, Carlos Ortiz, all they guys. They fought most these fights in Puerto Rico, big fights, and like
Yeah.
that's where boxing was. But like Puerto Ricans will always say Ken Buchanan is the best British fighter
Wait,
ever.
I just noticed something. Hold on. Who do you think is gonna win against Xander and your little picture there
Abbas
on
Baru.
your huh?
I think Abbas will win.
What? What?
Abbas is probably the most underrated fighter on the planet.
I think Xander is.
I think the two of them are excellent. I think the two of them are
I
great
think
fighters.
Xander's a better boxer.
Possibly.
of course, he gonna go
Possibly.
for his guy. You cannot be mad
No,
at
I
pick
know.
up his
I know.
guy.
Let me
Come
get
I'll
him,
know.
baby.
Wait,
Let me get
I'm
him.
sorry. I'll not pick somebody if I didn't think if I don't think they'll win.
there's nothing
Like
wrong with him.
I think with Abbas is people never people haven't looked into him
Have never
enough.
heard of him. I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So where Abbas fought his second fight against guys that were 20-0. Abbas has been in 12 rounders straight for the start. Abbas beat former world champions in his last 5 fights. You know, his first 5 fights. Abbas has never fought anybody with a losing record. He went
Hold on.
straight into 12
He's
rounders.
starting to say a lot of stuff over here. I'm just not gonna let this slide. We're gonna have to look up your
Oh,
boy
you
here.
can look it up. You can
Hold
look it
up.
up.
Oh yeah, the box rec doesn't
When you go, you
acknowledge
can,
the WBA world title, so I gotta hold
you'll
on.
recognize the names.
Yeah. Definitely. But go ahead, continue. What were you
So
saying?
he went through that. He like fought a guy called Jack Kilkie for the title in his 10th fight, and it was a split decision. And people threw him away after
What
that. But
what
then
was
he
what
kept
how many rounds was that?
12. He'd been fighting
Oh,
12 rounders since his second fight, right? But Abbas was an absolute elite amateur. He fought Ronnie Iglesias in a semi final in the World Championship, and it was a split decision. And do you know who beat Iglesias in the final? Shakram Giasov, right? They're the guys. So Abbas is a great fighter. Like Terry thought he was going to just bully him. He couldn't hurt him. He kept coming forward, high guard, coming forward, cut off the ring, overhand rights, uppercuts, body work, cut off the ring, and then he just doesn't get tired. He does not get tired. He just keeps fighting all the way through, and that's where I think he will maybe prevail over Xander in the later rounds. If Xander hasn't got him out of there, the gas tank king if he slows down. But Abbas has been shat on, and they thought that he was easy champion. Man, Xander, I don't know if Xander thought that, but they thought Boots would go up and fight him.
okay,
Boots would never fought him.
okay. You said a lot for your boy here, right? He's
Yeah,
31 years old. He has 17 fights. He has 9 knockouts in his
correct.
17 fights. He lost one fight, but he's never been stopped. He has a 52% knockout ratio, and he's 5'9". Okay, now, in his career, he did start off hot. He started off his first fight was a 6 round. His second fight was a 10 round fight. His third and etc. He jumped up to 12 rounds. He jumped back down to an 8 rounder. But we know at that point in your career is when you couldn't find a fight. So his loss was to Jack, like you said. It was a 12 round split decision. So
And that
but
was in 2020. Now, they've got Backram as a killer because he won his title off of
but
Kilkie in
but but
2023.
okay, but I can't
Right,
help
on you
but
go.
Okay, I can't help but notice Xander Zayas, right, has 22 fights, 13 big ways by knockout, right? He stands at 5'10". He's only 23 years old. He has a 59% knockout ratio, a bit stronger than your guy, and he has a 74-inch arm reach. Now, in comparison, when I looked up your guy, I couldn't really, help but notice, um, what is your guy's guy that tells you that he fought better opponent than Xander? What guy tells you that
He's,
it it
sorry.
separates you? Because I want to know.
I
Because
think he,
because Bakram, for instance, Bakram is the other champion in the division. Am I correct?
correct.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay. Now, Xander and him share two common opponents, right? Bakram went the distance with both of them. Xander knocked out both of them in the fifth round.
yeah.
So
But
so Xander
background's not the killer people think though.
and people are saying that he's a better puncher, and I'm saying, but wait a minute, Xander's knocking out the guys he went the distance with. So in comparison to your guy, I just want to know from you. You started saying that he fought all these great guys and everything. So just share with me because Xander, right? He beat
Who's Anders'
Chino.
best one?
Chino. Chino
Right.
beat Conwell, which Conwell was the number one prospect. As soon as Chino beats him, he gets that status. So according to going into that fight, that were the two top guys. So you can't take away from Chino because he did beat Conwell, the man that beat the man.
Xander, as the guy says in the chat, Xander and Abbas have shaped the ring 90 rounds to 100 rounds. They sparred together. That's who's been
Okay.
sparring Xander,
Okay. But
right?
once again,
So,
where
so
is
see when
your
he turned
guy?
up and he beat Terry's without a trainer. He turned up and beat Terry's without having a trainer
Yo, round
because
one. I like that take. But another thing to add to your take, a lot of people forget Casadon's got beat by Patrick Teixeira.
it's still
And
it's
Patrick
still practical
Teixeira,
theory.
all right, but guess what?
See,
Hamza couldn't handle Adamas, right?
not
Hamza couldn't handle
I don't think
Adamas.
Hamza's that
But it
good
was
either.
still a
By the way,
draw. It was still a draw, right?
Yeah, well,
No, that
no,
was
Adonis
with the
never
think
won
Adamas
the
I
fight.
fight.
think I think
A
Yeah,
Adamas
robbery
actually won
draw.
that fight.
he never really
But
won
let's
that
be
fight. I
real.
mean, but
Right now,
he
round one. Right
Draw to
now,
Adamas.
Xander is the most hated Latino fighter right after T.
right at the TO. Well,
and he's in the truck. He's in the
I
truck.
got
Maybe
yeah,
we got to
yeah,
breathe.
yeah, yeah.
I actually love Xander. I think
Li-
that I think
Yep,
that everyone who wins the fight will go on and they'll unify and undispute the decision, the
yep.
division.
Well,
I
I
also
gotta
think that
respect both guys. I gotta respect. I want to publicly come out and say, you
see if
know,
you, see if you click on his box arm on his box arm on box rec on the same page, then you'll see all the names he's fought when he
yeah,
was an amateur,
no,
elite,
no. I gotta respect
absolute
these
elite.
guys. Yeah, I gotta respect these guys for wanting to unify because there's a lot of bigger names that we've been waiting for these guys to unify, and we never got to see that. Like the Tank Davises of the world and a lot of these big fights. So when we got a 23-year-old kid and a 31-year-old man, yes, but he just recently acquired the belt, but he's going for a unification when all these other guys are making excuses and we don't get these
One
fights.
excuses.
You know what I
You know,
mean?
and
And
they
these
both
two
One
know each
men right
other,
here, these two
wait.
men right here are fighting.
and they know
This
each
ain't
other.
this ain't no
Yeah,
Duran
Facts.
Boots Ennis calling out
And
everybody
Virgil.
but fighting nobody shit. This
man.
is I called you out and we making the fight happen. So I gotta respect these two young men for
See,
wanting to unify early.
Unify
So
right
and
away.
you
Xander's
know,
always respectful as
and the
well.
other guy's not young in age, but early as a champion in his case.
It's
So
like so the two of them obviously know each other for sparring. So like it and none of them came out and says, "Oh, I beat the shit out of that one," or "I beat the shit out of the other," or "Go better them." Like for Abbas to accept that fight when they've been sparring, and then in his backyard as well, it must mean that the two of them fancy each other, beating each other. But the two of them have got that respect for each other, man. They
mhm.
went straight
Yeah.
and Abbas will fight
Yeah,
anybody anywhere,
yeah, but
and
my
I believe
brother,
Xander will as well.
the only thing I always keep in mind in the forefront when I talk about a fighter such as Xander is that he was only about the age of 22 years old when he won his world title. So if he was
Yep.
that good and he can accomplish that at that age, he still hasn't gotten his man strength.
I
So
don't think
as
Xander's
I
in his prime
watch
yet.
him, the beauty about watching a young man like that achieve something real early is watching him grow in the sport and to see how far he can take it. Because I got to admit, getting a world title at 22 years old is no easy feat and no division. I got to know guys that fought for 10 years and haven't got called up to the big show once. Okay, so you know, and then right after that, right after winning the world title, the young man decides, I'm not gonna fight a contender. I'm gonna unify. You know,
Yeah.
and I gotta commend that on both sides. And I'm thankful for the WBA champion for taking the fight. For taking the fight. Because okay, I gotta there's a flip side to this coin. When Brian Norman Jr. won that belt and the world was telling him, fight Jerron Boots Ennis, I was like, whoa, Tonto, your son just got the belt. He's young. Allow him to defend the belt so that you can go down in history as a complete champion. Because in the boxing circles, it's not a written rule, but if you win a belt, it's one thing to win a belt, but it's another thing to defend it. And once you defend it, amongst us, you're a real champion. And you kind of want to get that behind you. There's not a lot of champions that won the belt and defended it. So
I get that round one, and it's like with that, I really respect Xander as well. I don't think Xander's at his peak either. I think
no, I
that
don't think so. I don't think so.
I think see what whoever loses this fight, one of the others at 154 will try and build a name off of the loser. If it's a Bass or Xander, they'll see that as a cherry pick, and a Bass or Xander, the loser, will pack the other fighter up, and
So
that will happen.
right, right. So I don't want to change the boxing topic, but I got all you guys here, and I gotta let you. I want to know you guys' opinion one by one. Who wins from Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson?
Shakur 7-5, tight fight.
Shakur 7-5. What do you got?
You know what? I'm gonna go with Teal. I think
Okay.
Teal can put him in trouble.
Woo! Frontline, what you got for me?
I got Shakur by frustration. He's gonna frustrate Teal that whole fight. Teal's gonna be out of his game.
You think so?
Out of his game. Hey, speaking of this, why the fuck is Turkey calling into a press conference like this is some fucking novela?
Well, you
Because
want to know
he's the
something?
kind of promoter of it, yeah.
Okay, but wait a minute. The amount of people that showed up to that press conference, by the way, was extremely low, and so low that the mics were echoing because the place was so big. Usually it would be packed, and you wouldn't hear that echo because it would bounce off the bodies.
It wasn't open to
Right.
fans.
So
Matias and Dalton Smith was packed, and then his freaking shit is empty with
his
his
shit
big
is empty.
star.
And for
It wasn't open to
one
fans though, yeah.
yeah,
There was no
and what
fans allowed
hey,
in.
that's a good point. That's a good point, my man. But anyway, I think that it was bullshit promoting. I heard Cesar talk about it, was like, yo, I heard about this on Wednesday. If they think I just live out my bag, like I was just gonna fly to New York, you sadly mistaken. Like, I think they dropped the ball on announcing that this to the boxing world and especially to like the media. So I think that's where they dropped the ball. But great point though. Subriel Matias' shit was packed. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Oh, definite. Matias is a great fighter as well. Man, for me,
The
I know
boys,
guys that went to MSG today to pick up tickets and see that press conference, and they were told, "Man, no fans." And they were like, "What? How's there no fans allowed in this? That's crazy. That is,
hey,
man,
let
that's
me ask
just
you a
mad, eh?"
question. Let me ask you a question. Like, okay, you see the one thing with a turkey card, he takes you out to Saudi Arabia, and he's the one that usually has both fighters. He's paying both guys. So he's only betting against himself. So a lot of fighters not reluctant to go out there. So when Dalton Smith was obviously approached, I would believe, by Turkey to enter the ring on the night that the winner of Subriel and Puello in New York City, that he was on the assumption that that fight was going to be in Riyadh season. It was
No,
going to be on one of his cards. He
no,
never
it's
thought,
Yeah,
wait a minute, he never thought that Fresh Production was going to outbid him and
no,
that Ed Hearn was going to fuck this up because Ed Hearn
so.
don't think they had money. Because I'm going to tell you, Ed Hearn messed it up because he underestimated the little guy. So that must have pissed off Turkey because you dropped the ball because I thought I told you to handle this type shit, right? Okay.
It was
So,
going to be in Sheffield.
but wait,
No, no. That fight was gonna happen in the Benavides fight because Turkey
in the
told him
Bennett,
that night was gonna be in the Benavides fight,
exactly.
and
So,
then
yep. So,
when they say no, Turkey thought, okay, we're gonna take it to Sheffield, right? Because stay in the BBC. Nah,
right.
Papa, we're not gonna travel.
Now,
Give you.
I said all of that to say this. Now your boy's fighting in New York City. How do you feel now with Dalton Smith?
Dalton Smith will no bother with his fighting, really. Like, Dalton Smith, the issue that people didn't see is that Dalton Smith was a silver champion at that time. And it had already been ordered for Matias and Puel fight that Dalton Smith was next. So it went to post bids. And it's Dalton Smith is happy to go to Puerto Rico. They'd already said it was going to be in Puerto Rico on December 10th. And then,
I
or the,
remember that. I remember
right,
that.
and then it got changed. And then New York, me and Cokie have spoke about this for ages. I don't think Dalton Smith can beat Matias, but they wanted to put it in Sheffield in a stadium. And people think UK boxing is thriving, but it's in a complete mess, a complete and utter mess. And Dalton Smith's one of the guys that could sell out the stadium at Sheffield. They will be Dalton
Why we
Smith
gonna go
fans.
to freaking Sheffield, that little ass town over there in Britain, when we can freaking sell out New York City in the United States of America? Why
It
in
would
the
have, it
hell?
would have had to have went if Eddie won the post bid.
But yeah, of course he was not
Yeah,
gonna
but
win it.
Subriel Matias is the champion.
Exactly, but if whoever wins the post bid decides with the fight, yeah,
Huh?
whoever
What?
wins the post bid decides where they fight, yeah.
Hey,
But
hold
So if
on,
Eddie won the
Edwin.
post bid,
You're not gonna get away from this. Who you got, Shakur or Teal?
me,
You made us all answer. You haven't
okay,
said shit
Oh
yet.
yeah, you. Oh yeah, I know
okay.
who round one got.
This is a tough one because I want that, like, look, you guys got to understand that I'm a softie when it comes to the underdog, and Teal's the underdog in this fight. And Shakur Stevenson, he's from Brick City, from New Jersey. That's where I was born. And then he's got a drop of Puerto Rican blood in there somewhere, So, and then it's like what Teal said about us. So it doesn't make me a fan friendly, but like there's somewhere in my boxing, like in my gut, that just tells me that Teal's gonna make this a bit more interesting, but I still go with Shakur. I'll still go
Oh,
with Shakur in the fight. I'm gonna take Shakur in the fight, and that might be subject to change. Who knows?
and do you know what else I'm going to say? If they thought it was going on a Turkey card, Turkey cards didn't go to post bids. They didn't make it that far for the reason he can decide where they fight at that. Before that, that's why Turkey wouldn't have been involved in that card in Sheffield.
Right.
That's why Devin Haney and Brian Norman didn't have a purse bid. He paid them both. Terence Crawford, Canelo Alvarez, no purse bid. They ring guys didn't have a purse bid. He makes that deal.
but it's
So,
one New York City, and
but
nobody knows where is Sheffield. Okay,
that's
we
all
need to
right. That doesn't
understand
matter.
that it's one
So, but
New York City. It's the capital of
It's
boxing.
so
It's
big
not
they
Las
had
why
to name
Vegas.
it twice. They had to
It's
name
why
it
would
New
twice. New
why
York,
Georgia.
New
would
York,
I do you know how they say it? New York, because that's
Yes.
named after
New
York.
York, New
That's named
York,
after
New York.
Old York in England. But anyway, for that, if Eddie won the purse bid, they would have to fight in Sheffield. Why would he pay the money and say, by the way, let's fight in New York City and it'll be fully Matisse fans? It'll be like when
Because
Roman Martinez
Because it's
fought
because
more
Ricky
because
Burns.
money.
because of the fact that it wasn't Dalton Smith promotion that paid the tab. It was Subriel Matias Smith
Exactly.
production that paid the
Correct.
tab.
And
That's
why
why
So
it's
you
in New
should have
York.
you
gonna
should
have
have
your
told Ed
boxing in
Hearn to pay more
Sheffield?
money then.
I wouldn't have paid me
You
money.
guys know why the fight didn't happen in Riyadh. The reason that it happened is because, from my understanding, it was I think it was like a 50-50 split money wise between Subriel and Dalton. What I,
Before a purse bid, yeah?
They put all the excuses, but they was not gonna travel 13, 14 hours to the middle of
right.
nowhere to a desert,
So
you know?
so the problem fell
You're right,
that
Roger.
why should it be a 50-50 split money wise when Subriel is a champion? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I agree.
So
And
that's
it's
Yeah,
when
Dalton
75
Smith was asking for too much.
it's 75-25 now, yeah, because
Food
Subriel's the champ and Dalton Smith's the challenger.
and
So that's
You
how the
gotta
post bid
respect the
works.
champion. You gotta respect the
That's
champion.
how it's set 75-25. Even if Eddie won that post bid and put it in Sheffield, Subriel would have still got 75%.
Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Okay, your boy was ready to go to Puerto Rico, like you eloquently put it. What's the problem
Exactly.
to go to New York City? It's
None.
less.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like how
He's got no
many
problem.
how many guys from Sheffield fight in New York City? That's even if he
How
won that,
many? How
that's
many
huge.
can you not remember Prince Nassim Hamed, no? Can you not remember the Prince?
Yeah,
For
What?
Racine
Sheffield.
Hamed.
From Sheffield. Can you not remember?
No,
Ezekiel
because he was
Book from Sheffield.
Arabic.
No, no,
He's
no, no,
not
no,
even
no, no, no,
British.
no,
He's
no. You're
Arabic.
not getting away with that. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Racine
Did you
Hamed.
just use other fighters to say that they came to United States rather than Dalton Smith that never came?
No, he said, what fighters do you know for Sheffield?
That came to NYC.
Oh, for
Oh,
Sheffield. Oh, for
And you're gonna say
Sheffield.
Racine Hamed for
Kell
real?
Brook, Nassim Hamed, Ryan
You know,
Rhodes, Matthew
Racine
Hatton
This is the
Hamed is
first time your
Arabian. He's
boy
from
Dalton Smith
is
fights
going to come.
in United States, right? This is his first time. And
Correct.
yeah.
He
this
has
is
to,
his second time only fighting outside of Britain. So
he has to fight there because that Fresh Productions paid the money. That's how a post bid
Yeah,
of
works.
and
course,
he's
if he wants a shot at the glory, well, then you need to come, just like
No,
Devin Haney needed to go to Australia.
yeah, it's no bigger
no.
sport. It's a city
Devin Haney
sport.
wasn't a mandatory challenger. Eddie Hearn paid the money for Devin Haney to go to Australia. He paid up. It
Okay,
was like when
whoa.
Charles Martin fought Anthony Joshua.
What you're saying is because he's the mandatory, it should award him
It-
what home field
no, when
advantage.
it goes to purse bid, the promoter bids on who's going to
No.
promote the fight. So
What
the
are the
promoter decides where
benefits?
it goes.
Whoa. What
Yeah,
are
The
the
promoter,
you know why
wait.
Eddie Hearn
What are
wanna
the
make it in
benefits of being
Sheffield?
a champion if you
you get
can't have home
75-25
field advantage?
No, it's
because
because he's broke and he don't have money to pay the Barclays Center. That's why
that's
he don't
not.
want to make it in Sheffield, in that little ass town in
Why
Sheffield.
would he send his fighter
It's
over?
like saying,
Wait,
"Oh,
take,
let's
wait,
go to fight in
look,
Iowa."
listen, you are fully shit. Because why would they
Iowa. Who
send?
said
Why would
Iowa?
he? Why would he
He
send his
Malasa,
said
you're full
fighter?
of shit.
he said
Why
you're
would they
full of
send his
shit.
fighter to America when he's paying the money?
Because
Exactly.
America is the capital of boxing. America is where the spotlights are. How you don't get it?
Does he want a champion or a full seat stadium? A champion.
So
That's
what
what he
he's
wants.
trying to tell you in layman's term is what he's trying to tell you is in Sheffield your tickets are gonna be from $15 to $55. In America, they're gonna start at $100.
And do you think Eddie Hearn
You know
cares
what I
about
mean?
that?
Like what I
Yes,
mean,
because he's a promoter and he care about making money.
So,
He's
so
a
this is where you this is
capitalistic.
this is where you're silly though.
That is what the
Matisse,
promoters
right?
do.
So
Make
if,
money. They
if
promote. They make boxing matches so people buy tickets so they can generate money.
if Ma-
right.
if Matisse wins this fight, how much does Eddie Hearn make off his next one?
Who care about Eddie Hearn? He's not
Zero,
the one
fucking
running
zero,
this
because he
place.
wants a chance. Because Caesar, you're talking shit. Lo, go and explain this to them how a purse bid works.
How the prospects work.
Yes,
I get it. I get how the prospects work and how everything you're talking about, but
that,
at a certain point, what we also talk about is what is always talked about in boxing. The boxer daring to be great. And sometimes in boxing, you got to give away something to retrieve what you want, the goal. So you have to either go in enemy's territory or you got to cross the pond.
you go
Either
with paying the most money.
right. But um this is not about a situation where Ed Hearn is gonna make money off your boy, or Dalton Smith got to show up in this fight, and that's it. That's the bottom
Yeah,
line.
because
You
Fresh
But
Promotion
come in
can make
there.
it in Puerto
He's not
Rico.
fighting.
That he
He's,
speaks Spanish. Everything is in
oh,
Spanish, right? Easy for him. But why they
correct.
choose New York?
Why?
to get that spotlight so
Why
they
would it?
recognize mainstream because New York make that just the word New York
That's the
City.
Who's showing this fight?
Smith going to New York can give him a lot of eyes. I gotta
Who's show?
admit.
Who's showing the fight?
Like fighting in Puerto Rico, fighting in Sheffield is not a spotlight.
Who's
New
showing the
York
fight?
City is the
Who's the
spotlight.
TV? Who's the TV showing the fight?
Pay-per-view is gonna
With
be like
who?
direct TV, Cox. These are the
There you
big
go.
networks in America that
If Eddie Hearn had won the first bid, it'd have been in Sheffield and it would have been on the zone.
yeah, would
That's
be
how
for
first
poor
bids
people,
work.
broke people. You don't understand? Yes,
So
Sheffield is
fresh
like
promotion.
paying
You know
$50
any
for a seat.
you
You don't
do you know
understand the
any
spotlight.
promoter can bid on a first bid? Any promoter can. Not even when it's no your fighter.
Yes, but okay, let me explain to you. Sheffield is like for us go to a high school basketball field in a
Oh
one
my
part of
god.
America. New
I
York
get that.
City is the big. It's like New York City,
Eddie had,
LA, Las
if Eddie had won
Vegas.
the first
These are
bid,
the
he'd have had to
spotlight.
he would have had Subriel would
And
have
you
had to wait to
spend money.
Sheffield.
Listen, papi, listen. You spend money in your boxers to bring them to this spotlight so more eyes can see them so they can sell more and then can generate more money because
No, they're
everything
interested in
is
getting a
about the
All
champion.
right, all
money.
right, all right. Hold up, guys. Hey, yo, Ryan Jackson. Round one, you over here lying again. Lying. Okay, first of all, lying again means that I would have to lie the first time. I would like you to tell me exactly what I lied about the first time. Then I would like you to tell me what I'm lying about now. Ryan,
And if you don't feel like
if
typing it, the link's in the chat. You can
yeah,
hop
and
on
if
and
you
explain
don't,
yourself.
kick him off. All right, frontline. All right, let's
Right,
continue.
so I get what you're saying, they've made money for it in New York. But they're only getting fucking paid what fresh promotions bid for the fight. So on the back of that is, if Eddie had won that, he'd have had to come to Sheffield, and if he didn't, he would have been stripped. He'd have been stripped his
Yeah,
title.
that is another proof for me that Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing are
Right,
just smoke and
that's
just
what
smoke
happens
and
everywhere in
mirrors
every
because
title
they
ever.
have money. Like Dimitri Salitas, the one
That
you told me,
that
I can yeah,
that's
it's another
that's
he,
why that's why we need these sanctioning bodies, because Ken what, if you didn't have them and they weren't holding fighters to account, it would be like what the PBC done. We'll just keep the belts here. We'll keep the belts over here. And that's why they go to purse bids. That's why they decide that the fighters will make the most money and the promoter will put in whatever country and whatever TV they want. That's how purse bids work. And if Matisse
yeah,
didn't want to
no.
go out and fight, Matisse could come out and fight and beat the shit out of him,
Why? That's the problem.
because
He don't
he's
know,
not a real Baricua.
not
He
whatever
he didn't
country,
he
not
he
What?
whatever country. The
he's not a
Whoa,
real
whoa,
capital
whoa,
Baricua.
whoa, 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 whoa! Did you say he's not a real Boricua?
Like Roman Martinez is a real Baricua. He came
No,
out
no,
here
no,
and
no, no,
defended
no,
his
no.
belt.
then a, then a British guy gonna tell us who are by Boricua and who
Whoa,
is
whoa,
not.
He,
whoa, whoa, whoa!
he
He is
dared to be great.
100% Boricua. What you mean he's not a
I'm
real
just
Boricua?
kidding. I'm winding you up. But Robert Martinez had the balls to come out and defend his belt because he lost a purse bid.
No, nah,
That's
nah,
it.
nah. You don't get the right to call who is a Boricua. You're not even Boricua.
There's the there's the balls.
Not even
That's it.
American.
It's all about having the balls and coming out and defending your title.
He is defending his title.
Correct. Absolutely.
He
But
is.
United States
your
Simone,
man
New
there
York
saying that
City.
he would dump the
And I
title
believe,
instead of traveling.
and I believe once upon a time, Subriel Matias was so honorable to the mandatory that he gave Liam Paro a shot and Liam Paro defeated him in
Absolutely.
Puerto Rico. So don't
Exactly.
sit here and say, like,
That's
what?
what happens.
Matias is fighting the top of the top. Who's next? And your
Correct.
boy Dalton Smith was
It's
next.
next.
Hey,
So
listen,
what?
I'm gonna
So
tell
why
you what. I'm
round
gonna
one?
tell you what.
Why
I
is the
tell you
man
what.
saying that he would dump the belt and it's all corruption? How is it corruption? Why
Well,
did it be corruption?
well, hold on. A point that you guys
Okay,
ain't
right.
touching on. Earlier in the
Come on,
conversation, you mentioned that the reason
bring it
he's fighting
home.
Dalton Smith is because
Bring
it's
it
his
home.
mandatory, right?
Yes.
But but per the rules of boxing, Turkey got up there and introduced Dalton Smith, which their whole game plan went sour because they thought Puello was going to win. Now, a unification trumps a
No,
mandatory. Why didn't they give Subriel the
You almost
option
bring it
to
home.
unify?
But anyway,
no.
look, check it out. Wait, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up,
All right, well,
hold
I
up.
got the
Wait,
third
wait, wait.
base. Go
Because
ahead.
A
Dalton Smith,
unification only does.
wait, my man. Dalton Smith was actually the mandatory because his position was, there, right? But he got a rematch with Alberto Puello that going into the fight, this was negotiated with the WBC. So the WBC was aware of the rematch. Um, 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 the situation was changed because of the power that is Turkey Al Sheikh. And Turkey Al Sheikh said he wants to see this fight, not the rematch with Alberto Puello. So I think behind the scenes, I don't have any proof on this,
Puello's
but
fighting next, though, yeah. And
but
that's
I
why
think
he's
he
next.
gave Alberto Puello maybe some step aside
There
money
was,
or
yeah.
something. And then, but you see, what happens in boxing law is that once the fight is introduced and it went to an argument that it had to go to a purse bid, they had to stay with the Dalton Smith because I think that he was
Dalton Smith was supposed to be before Puello. And
no,
then
no,
Puello,
because no, because in the Puello fight they had a rematch clause.
yes, they couldn't
So,
invoke it
so
because
no,
they'd already had a
the
voluntary.
only way Dalton Smith entered the equation because he would have been like any other boxing situation.
He wouldn't
Sandor
He
have
would have
Martin
had
defended.
to
was
Would,
wait.
2 years mandatory. Sandor Martin was 2 years mandatory with that title in the 140 pounds
but
before Dalton Smith became
so
mandatory.
for the mandatory, he has to fight in a certain period or it's step aside money, as you say. So Dalton Smith stepped aside to start with. They got a voluntary, and this is now his mandatory. And his next fight's Puello, which is a rematch. Whoever wins it, Dalton Smith will have to fight Puello as well. And
Right.
that's how it works.
Nah,
Man, that's how it works.
you
The
don't see
same with
how we
Spence, the same
see
with Spence and Crawford. They had a rematch.
Dalton Smith. Mira, for us, Dalton Smith is just another stone to hold Matias back. We don't see Dalton Smith as a threat. We just see Dalton Smith and another stone to hold Matias back for he do unification or he do the real money fights because Dalton
Would
Smith is
anybody
a
else came
money
to Puerto
horse.
Rico and fought him?
That's how we see Dalton Smith. We don't
Would
even
Right.
see
anybody,
Dalton Smith as a threat.
All right.
We just
All
see
right.
him like a step in the middle.
but
I
Right.
that's
keep
the issue
real. I
though.
keep it real.
That's a
Listen.
big issue though. Why do you like why you see that as like he's just gonna wipe the floor with him, then what happens if he loses?
Right.
Well,
Right.
he
So
know what happened if he lose. We don't have to tell him because he know already. We all know
I
what is gonna happen, so he gonna go through it. He know what he have to do.
oh come
You know?
on. Come
Yes.
on,
look,
man.
look. All right, guys, look. Unfortunately, right now I gotta cut this live stream short right here. I have some family matters I have to attend to. But listen, gentlemen, thank you for all hopping on. Thank you for the chat, for everybody interacting, sharing your opinions and your views on the matter. I hope that you guys learned something here today, got something out of the show. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. And like always, I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys have been amazing. Thank you for participating. And I'm out. Peace. Good
He's
night,
nice to
gentlemen.